And here we are, Jim, yet again, in probably one of the hottest, stupidest times in the Evansville area that I have ever experienced in my life. Hi, guys. Hi. Welcome to a very sweltering, swassy edition of the Dude What Movie Review Podcast.
Dude, what?
I am one half of the hosting squad, Mr. Brian Sumner. That is Jim Miller over there. Say hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
We are dying.
It's hot.
It's very hot. Let me put it to you this way. We are recording on a Wednesday night. It's nighttime.
Nighttime.
The AC in the studio, we turn it off for sound quality while we record. We don't want that interrupting with the sound. But the AC has been on for 3 hours in this space, this small little space, the 2420 West Studios out here in the garage.
Yeah.
And with it on, it was still hot in here.
Yes.
It felt good when you first walked in, but you're like, God, it is really that hot outside. Yep. I normally don't start off on these Dude What originals from our archive, like with the Evansville Weather Report. But I mean, it's been so long since I've actually done an Evansville Weather Report. I figured I'd go ahead and bust one out. I know you used to love them whenever I just talk about doom and gloom and hatred.
Just need to have the live from Satan's taint.
What the hell did you just say?
Yeah. No, Jim. We've already talked about that. That's a music festival. Anyway. No, we are here to bring you another Dude What original from the archive. Episode 10, Jim. Dude, we're already up to 10.
10. This was a milestone in and of itself.
Dude, I had to go back and get all my notes together for this. And holy crap.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. Yeah. Like, I thought, you know, and you and I talked about this off mics. We thought maybe we'll just cut some kind of generic intro for it, just throw it out there because it's just a chat between two bros in the studio hanging out, right? No, there is so much to cover on this episode. I couldn't do it. I couldn't cheapen it. So we're going to have to get into it, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I am excited to do this. Episode 10. It's a Dude Table discussion, the first ever Dude Table discussion, Jim, on our show. Originally aired September 15th, 2017. Yes, 2017 on the Homers Radio Network.
Homers!
Here's the thing, man. We originally went into this with the intentions of recording something small that would be a quick turnaround for me to do an edit on. Because I was going on vacation.
Right.
Which is a theme on our show around this time of year, the September, October range. I always take my beautiful wife to go down to Panama City Beach. That's our home away from home. It's where our heart is.
Right.
So, I mean, at this time, that's what we were doing. And we had this idea, hey, let's do something different from a normal show. And we'll just record what we would eventually call a Dude Table discussion. Because we got that from a round table discussion.
Right.
We are the Dude What Movie Review Podcast. Combine them together. Dude Table discussion. It just fit. It made sense. So, at this time, I was going to be going down south. We thought we'd do something small. It turned out to be bigger than what we normally do on an episode.
Yeah, because I think the original intent was like, oh, you won't have to do as much on the production or much of the editing because we're just literally talking about movies, so you can just release it.
Yeah, that did not work out for me.
That did not.
No.
And this was the beginning of our creativity creating more work for you.
Yes, it's exactly what has happened on the show.
This is like that first Jenga block that
we have mentioned so many times that the creative process on this show is so fruitful with regard to us getting that creative itch, you know, or scratching that creative itch and being able to get these ideas out and do stuff. And when we're in the space, it's great. And then when we step away and we look at the content, I'm just like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to do that because I think I ended up having like over 2 hours of audio to edit on this thing.
Yeah, it was a beast. And I mean, looking at it just from a historical standpoint, I mean, this is the 10th episode.
Right.
We're in double digits at this point.
Right.
The intent was to make things easier for you. It became more difficult, but it became a staple now at
really
this point.
Has,
like Dude Table discussions is like a whole entity in and of itself from a normal Dude What original, right?
You know, and it's funny that you say that because we have been very conscious from the very beginning to put out different content for the listeners, not giving the same cookie cutter show week to week, bi-weekly, as it will end up being down the road. But we wanted to do fun stuff, different stuff, and give you guys something different to listen to on the feed. We just didn't want to keep putting the same, I won't say boring, but just the same monotonous, formulaic show out every week. Right. And so when we came up with this idea, with our good intentions, those went sideways pretty quick. But because of that, it did birth something that would become a staple on our show. And I'm pretty happy about that, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, well, so, you know, back then we had the whole mantra of giving you a new way to look at your old favorites.
Right.
And I think it was from this and then from the creative element of when we began to just kind of spawn off on other things that I feel like, in all honesty, and I know that, yeah, I'm reaching to pat our own backs here a little bit, but I feel like we do movie podcasting better than most.
Right.
And I think a lot of it is because it isn't just formulaic, but then also, like, out of all of this began to form kind of the mantra that I kind of been putting out more of the fact that, like, we're an audio experience for the movie lover.
Yes.
Made by movie lovers.
Right.
Right? Because it's not always just, hey, we're talking about movies.
Right. The whole idea of creating new content and just having new fun stuff to go out on the feed for the listeners of the show. It all works together. And you touched on the idea of we're a little bit better than other movie review podcasts. And I agree with that. I feel like that this episode right here in particular is a perfect example of why we are better than those, because we are stretching our legs creatively and we are trying to give something different that falls in the same vein of the product and the brand that we give you guys. And this episode right here, unbeknownst to us at the time, actually turns out to be a perfect example of that, because we cover so much on this show. We cover movies, we cover new releases, coming attractions, we talk about ourselves, we engage with our audience, we give shout outs, which we're going to talk about that here in a little while. I mean,
talk about Commando and your hatred for it.
Oh my God.
Don't make me hurt you.
Look, okay, yeah. All right. Okay.
And you sound like a serial killer. There's all kinds of stuff that we talk about.
Jim, now let me explain something to you right now. Yes, the hatred for Commando persists. It never goes away. It never dies. It is undying. Yeah, we obviously covered Commando in the last episode. That just carries over into this one. You're going to hear it here in a little bit. There's more hatred for Commando. And it actually doesn't come from me. It comes from Jim. It's kind of like this weird kind of, because Jim was like all gung-ho on Commando. And then I think after he watched it and finally realized it through a critical eye, he was like, I don't know. I don't think so.
In it a little while.
Serial killer sounds, you mentioned it. I want to apologize up front. This is a production note that came out of this episode. Apparently I was breathing a lot into the microphone. Did not realize it. And truth be told, like our setup now, we have a great setup here in our studio right now. Jim got these booms for our mics to where our mics are actually suspended right in here in front of us. And I actually don't have the mic directly under my nose. Back in the day when we had the tabletop mic stands, those microphones were literally right at our mouths, right under our noses. And I have a slight deviation in my septum here. So it's kind of hard to breathe sometime for me. And if I'm breathing through my nose, you hear it if the microphone is anywhere near me. And I want to apologize for that. I don't want people to think that I'm doing some weird stuff on the side. I'm not. I'm fighting for my life.
Well, you talk about sounding like a serial killer a little bit.
Yeah.
One of our favorites, or at least one of your favorites.
Oh, yeah.
It. We talk a lot about the old clown Pennywise in this episode.
Pennywise, the dancing clown. You guys are going to hear here in a little bit us talking about It Chapter 1. The reason why I'm bringing it up right now is because it's very important. It marks a very important benchmark in our show going forward with regard to reviewing movies. And you're going to hear about that and hear why it's so important. And I don't want to spoil it right now what it is for you guys that haven't heard it. And in fact, if you are new to the show, hey, how's it going?
Well, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
We really appreciate you guys tuning in. But It Chapter 1 is very important to me, and you're going to hear all about that here in a second. And that's going to be a lot of fun, you guys talking about that. Another reason why we did this brand of show, Jim, aside from the whole idea of trying to shorten it because I was going on vacation, we were gearing up for the holidays at that time, man. You and I both worked at FedEx. That is no more.
Oh,
thank God.
Gosh.
It's so hot today.
I don't know how I got a cold chill when you said that.
I don't know how you did it either. It was so hot. But listen, it was so hot today. The UPS driver came up to my place to make the pickup, and he was just beet red, dripping sweat. And he goes, I don't know if you know this, but it's really hot outside. And I was like, really? Couldn't tell. Couldn't tell at all. And all I can think of whenever he pulls up to the building every day is I'm glad I'm not in that line of work anymore. I do not miss it at all.
Right? Especially in his truck. I mean, he probably don't have air conditioning at all.
He does not. He does not at all. And I do not miss FedEx. Neither one of us miss FedEx.
No,
at
not
all.
at all. I think often. No, I don't. I don't think
nobody thinks about it.
Not at all.
So the one other note that I wanted to make mention before we actually get to the episode on this DudeTable discussion, the birth of a very weird saying, Jim. I don't know where you came up with this. I don't know how it just evolved in your sick, twisted brain. Where
it was
came
a little,
from.
yeah, it was a little seed, and it's had a big impact.
Oh wow!
Talk about segues.
Puns. Horrible segue, Jim. So that's what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Creative Viagra.
Yeah,
Jim.
yeah.
Why?
It was just, it hit in the moment. I don't know why. It just was one of those, like, I mean, you know, we were on our 10th episode, and I think I talked a little bit about it, like, right, but in this episode. But
yes, you do.
It was just, for me, Dude What had become a slingshot for creativity, for my life. But then this podcast in and of itself, and we were kind of joking a little bit off air, that it's kind of become just counseling for me. But it legitimately has changed my life, and I'm looking forward to the day of being able to do a story time with Jim, like full-on side episode where we talk about that. Because here's the thing, I joke around a lot, but straight up, genuinely, this has changed the trajectory of my life in so many ways. Like, I was having this conversation the other day with somebody about Dude What, and how I would not be doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for this podcast. And so to talk about Creative Viagra it's silly and it's funny, but in a lot of ways, dude, it's lasted longer than 4 hours, I'll tell you that.
Something.
But we're glad we have listeners.
Yeah, so glad we got listeners.
I'll be honest, man, like this show, this podcast for me has been like a creative Viagra.
Hold on, let me... Did you say that one more time?
A creative Viagra.
Okay.
No, what I mean by that is, like, so on the creative level, like, you and I have all these creative ideas, but as individuals, we kind of, and I think most creative people are plagued by this, is that if you don't have an outlet for it, you kind of get in your head, kind of get down, you know, and there's these seasons that we go through. And so I will say, since we've started this show, it just seems like
rejuvenation.
Yes.
It's really easy if you're a creative person and then you fall victim of stagnation. It sucks. You get into, when you're creative and you have a rhythm and everything's flowing, everything's great.
Yeah.
But when you lose that rhythm, or if something intervenes and you can't do what you normally would do as far as being creative and getting that out, it makes it a little bit difficult, and you kind of fall into like an emotional slump.
Yeah, yeah.
It is terrible.
And so what I mean by creative Viagra is, like, my creative impotency has... I'm just, this creative thing is going longer and stronger than ever before, and like, it's been great. So
should we call the doctor? Has it been more than 4 hours since your creativeness has spiked?
Anyway, yeah,
you're really riding this premise so hard.
Anyway, enough of the locker room talk. But
locker room talk.
So, but yeah, I've been thankful for this time and this opportunity to
Me too. It's
you know, kind of grow in a lot of areas, and
we're having a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and then truthfully, like, I've got like all these other ideas now that just for other things in life. So it's been really
once
cool.
you open the floodgates, get a pen and pad ready.
Yeah,
write that stuff down.
Yeah, so
I've been there before too.
And thank you guys for joining us on the journey with that, because it's been
obviously
fun too.
You know, since we were talking about you guys, being appreciative of you guys tuning in and listening to the show, we decided we're going to try and do something a little different. Just a quick little thank you kind of thing. And
what better time to do it than on our 10th episode, which happens to be this week. So
10th episode right now. So it's kind of a banner moment for us. Yeah. It really is. I mean,
in a couple ways, because now we're in double digits, so it's not 0-0, which, I mean, putting the 2 zeros in front of a number says, hey, we're at least going for 3 digits, right?
That's the plan.
That's the hope, but we're in double digits now.
I should have put 3 zeros at the beginning.
Oh, man.
I got enough movies on the list.
This is true. But anyway, so this week, we're going to start kind of a new moment, if you will, in our normal format as well. We'll be that way.
Really just a kind of a way to say thank you to some of the people that we know follow the show.
Yeah.
And we're going to give a shout out to you guys. So... Baby Ruth. Hey, we just want to say hey to you guys, Hey, you guys. We just want to give a shout out. And our first official shout out.
Officially.
We want to give a shout out to Mr. Todd Trout.
Todd Trout.
He is a loyal fan. He's been listening from the beginning. He is one of our coworkers, and he loves the show, gives us a lot of support, a lot of feedback, and we appreciate him tuning in, listening to the show. It's great.
I'm glad we're doing a shout-out for him, but I will say, Todd, I'm still a little hurt by you.
Oh, boy.
See, Todd was my buddy. He was the guy working next to me, and he recently got a new route. Congrats on that, by the way.
Oh, he left you high and dry.
He did. So now he's not beside me. So I'm stuck with swing drivers and all kinds of fun stuff. So, but after each, because he would listen to us Thursday coming into work, then he would always give me feedback on the belt. We'd talk about stuff and laugh and cut up and even have some serious conversations and stuff. So
Todd's a good guy.
Todd's a great guy. I'm kind of upset, though, that he's left me. But I'm glad you're still listening, Todd, and I love you.
Whoa.
And I miss you. That was your cue, Brian, to hit the dun-dun-dun. No, I'm just...
if he takes your breath away, I think Todd wants it.
Todd, this is for you. Here you go, Todd. This is what I play because I miss you so much that I... Todd Trout, awesome dude. Yeah. He's a part of our following. Our
following, our daily lives. He's a good guy. Really, the reason why I want to go ahead and make him the official beginning to the, hey, you guys shout out is because, we're going to get into some movie talk now. We're going to talk movies. Yeah. And the reason why he got the shout out this week is because he suggested a movie to me recently, and we're going to talk about it now. The movie that he suggested to me was a movie called The Belko Experiment. Okay. Which...
Is that more of a newer movie?
That is a newer movie. That I believe this movie came out not even a year ago, I don't think. Okay. Essentially, the premise of the movie is all these Americans, work in this building that's down in Colombia. Okay. Right? And it's this big, new high-tech building or whatever. This company called Belko Industries, they built this building. They have these people come and work there. These people have been working there for like a year and a half or something like that, right? It's a normal day. All these people come in, but they notice that there's a lot of security at this one day. There's like heightened security, and they're checking IDs and stuff and all this crap, and everybody's like, what the hell's going on, And they notice that locals that work there are being sent home. So it's just, all the people who were essentially brought from outside into the country to work at this industry, okay? Right. All of a sudden, on the loudspeaker, this voice comes on and says, employees of Belko, you have 2 hours to kill 2 of your coworkers. Wow. Everybody's looking at each other like, this is a prank, what's going on, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, the building goes on lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
all hell breaks loose. It is crazy. We talked about this on the Commando episode, and you have to kind of look at it for what it is in that vein, because, Commando was an 80s action flick, so you got to treat it as such. You got to look at it kind of through those eyes.
I don't remember anything serious coming out of the Commando episode, but...
Nothing serious came out of it.
But so you say that.
But I say that in regards to the Belko Experiment is set up as kind of like a psychological kind of thriller kind of movie. All right. So if you accept it for what it is, then you know what you're getting into. Don't treat it as like, a character study. It's nothing like that. It's just a straight up suspenseful, got some action. Sure. It's got some humor in it. It's got a little bit of everything in it, but overall it's a suspenseful kind of horror, almost in a horror genre kind of movie. Belko Experiment it's
good movie, huh?
Yeah. You haven't seen it?
I have not.
I suggest seeing it. And actually, what we're doing on this special episode here is these newer movies that we're talking about. We're going to go ahead and rank them. Okay. We're going to go ahead and give them a ranking. Sure. I got to give Belko Experiment a 5.
I'm the dude.
It's a good movie.
So that's what you call me.
It's a good movie, man. Like, it's good. Yeah. It'll pull you in. You're like, because you want to know what the hell's going on. Yeah. You want to understand why these people are in the situation that they're in. It delivers, man.
Really?
It's a good movie. That's a good movie. What about you? You seen anything recently?
I have. I've seen a couple of things. I'll go ahead and go with probably one. It's an older one. Okay. I say older. It's 10 Cloverfield Lane.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, so it's like...
This is like 2005, 2006, somewhere around in there?
So I've never seen it. I've never seen the first one. But I had John Goodman in it. My wife and I, one night, it was on Amazon Prime,
Right.
I guess. And my wife's like, that looks interesting. So I was like, well, let's watch it. Because, I mean, anytime she's kind of out of her normal box of movie choices,
jump
I'm like,
all over it.
I'm like, let's do it.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Even if it looks horrible, I'll watch it. So,
Right.
And so we did. We started watching it, and we were locked in. And
Now, this is a sci-fi kind of...
yeah, it's billed as like sci-fi thriller type deal.
Because I haven't seen it, so...
Yeah, so the premise basically is this girl's in a wreck.
Okay.
Wakes up in a bunker, and
All right.
it's basically her and John Goodman's character and another guy. That's it, in this bunker. And this story begins to unfold to her, like why she was picked up, why she was
Right.
put in the bunker, like there's belief that there's aliens outside of the bunker, all this stuff. So almost the entire movie takes place in the bunker, and
Really?
John Goodman nails his character.
How good is he?
Dude, he like in this
seriously.
movie. I mean, and we were locked in. We were sold on it. I mean, it's like for me in this moment, it would be up there with a 4 knocking on the door of a 5 at least.
Okay.
So, but don't hit that yet because
You got more, huh?
because then at the last 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you read most of the reviews afterwards. I was looking on reviews, and everyone's like, "This movie sucked because of this." The last 10 minutes,
So it ruined it for it.
it really did.
In your eyes, it did.
It
Not only
totally-
just from the reviews, but the...
Right, like I didn't read the reviews until
Till
after.
after? Okay.
Both Kylie and I were like, "What the hell was that?" I mean,
Right.
really, we were like, "This movie, like the way they chose to end it, it sucked."
Don't you hate that?
And because we were invested, we were like,
Right.
"This is a really good movie. How's it going to end?" And the way they chose to end it was so over the top sci-fi. Whereas, like the
Really?
first 3/4 of the movie, there was like this hints of stuff, but like there was never. I don't know.
They kind of danced that fine line where you didn't know, drawing out the suspense of
Yes,
what the
and then
story
like, they went
is.
so over the top,
And then they went just right over the edge and just said, gung ho, we're
Yeah.
invested in it. This is what we're going to go with.
And so, like, I was trying to get benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe because I hadn't seen the first one,
Right.
You know, maybe they're trying to keep in this franchise type thing.
Yeah.
But even people that are like saw the first one were like, nope, it sucked. So, like, so for us, and because I even asked Kylie what her ranking would be,
Right.
she said she would give it a 4 until the end, and then give it a 2. And I was
Really?
like, I would agree.
So
I'd have to agree with her on that one.
what's your official ranking then for that? You said you went from a 4 to a 2. Now, see, we ran into this with Commando.
I know.
For an 80s movie, I gave it a 4.
You were generous in giving a 3. And I will say, with everything that John Goodman was in, it was definitely a 4. But I mean, I would just have to give it a flat out 2.
You're going to give it a flat out 2,
Yeah.
huh?
So 10 Cloverfield Lane, my ranking.
This is serious. I just sharted.
Sharded. You get the Along Came Polly treatment, huh?
Yeah, it's worth watching until near the end and then just turn it off and walk away.
Really?
That's how you should end it if you choose to watch. Any other movies you've seen?
We watched a movie last weekend, a movie called Split
Split.
with James McAvoy, who
That
plays
is a M. Night Shyamalan
that is
movie.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie. Yeah, that movie did not disappoint.
Dude, I'm
go
a
ahead and say
fan.
it.
I'm a fan of M. Night.
Have you seen Split?
I have not yet. But I mean, it's on my list of M. Night movies to watch.
What
so.
M. Night movies have you seen?
Unbreakable,
Breakable.
which is to me is a great superhero movie.
Unbreakable is ridiculously good.
Yeah, and it's one of those
Ridiculously
like no,
It's subtle.
When
It's
people
not
talk
over the
about
top.
M. Night, they don't ever talk about that movie. But it's like
Here's the thing about Unbreakable. It doesn't need to be over the top. Now, and I'm so glad that you said this, okay? Spoiler alert.
fast forward if you don't want to hear it.
Fast forward if you don't want to hear this. Since you're sitting here and you haven't seen Split, I'm not going to tell you a lot, but I will put the nugget in your head that Split is tied in to Unbreakable. I will go ahead and put that there for you. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not going to tell you where. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm just going to tell you the movie Split is tied into the movie Unbreakable.
Okay.
And it is so gloriously awesome. You will flip your freaking lid when you
Okay.
realize.
Okay.
It's great. But the movie Split...
It actually makes me want to watch it more now.
Oh my
so.
God, you gotta watch it. The movie Split. Do you know the premise of it? Basically,
Yeah, I mean, to me, when I first saw the previews of it, it
Yeah.
reminded me of the movie Identity.
yes,
Which
great movie.
Yes,
Such a great movie.
Yeah,
John
and that's
Cusack,
one of those
Amanda
that like
Peet.
you only have to watch once because the ending, you're like, what? I mean, I remember leaving the theater, I was like, what the heck?
And it's got our boy John C. McGinley in it, which
Yeah.
we love so much. What was it, Harp
Yeah.
from Point Break?
Yep.
Damn it. Love John C. McGinley.
But yeah, so I that's kind of what I've gathered is very
Yeah.
much a
Yeah.
one person with a split personality.
Split personality, he multiple, which I will go ahead and divulge. You find out that he has somewhere upwards of 20-something personalities.
Wow.
It is crazy the talent that McAvoy puts into the work on this movie.
I mean, I can only imagine. Just watching the preview, I'm like, that is eerily good. Like,
it's really good. I don't want to be too redundant with the amount of fives that I give out on the show, but I mean, Split, it's 5. It's
really
such a good movie.
Wow,
it really is a good movie.
Yeah,
Split is just it's like next level stuff, man.
So M. Night, like, there's another one I didn't mention was, I think I said The Village.
Yep.
The Happening. Now that one, to me, and I think a lot of people were like, what are you doing? I feel like he did well with Devil, because it seems like he's kind of been, not in a slump, but...
kind of like peaks and valleys with his career.
Yes,
and
yes. Do you think this is like him maybe coming...
I would say yes. If you view M. Night's career as peaks and valleys, you know, the extreme highs, extreme lows, or whatever, I would say he's on an upswing with this. And depending on what he decides to make his next film be, his next project, if he decides to go ahead and continue this story that he's started with, like I said, I already told you it ties into Unbreakable. Right. So it's leaning towards a trilogy, in my opinion, or maybe more. I don't know. If he decides to go straight into that as his next project, I don't know where he could really go. I mean, it's kind of like diving into Christopher Nolan territory. You spend a majority of time working on this trilogy, and you bring this whole entire story arc together, and now it's like, where do you go? Well, obviously Christopher Nolan, we know what he did. He went to Dunkirk. So,
which actually, the movie that Kyle and I went to see on a date night recently was Dunkirk, and I don't know if you knew that was on my list. If you're cheating by looking over here,
no.
But yeah, so we actually went and saw a couple weeks ago, I guess. Right. I will say this about Dunkirk.
Oh boy. A lot of hesitation in his voice.
Well,
Did you guys notice that?
Here's why. Because Christopher Nolan, I mean, a lot of people would put him like top of his game right now. A lot of reviews have been like, Dunkirk's amazing. You know,
masterpiece.
Even in our top fives that we've asked on Facebook, people were like, they were putting Dunkirk with the top 5 with war movies.
The top 5 war movies, that's right.
After seeing it, I would say that it's up there with Saving Private Ryan as far as the same genre. I can appreciate his vision as a director and for the way he decided to tell the story, the way he uses time. And basically, I'll put it this way. So the movie captures 3 different segments of this battle, if you will, of Dunkirk. It's basically they're trying to get off the beach. And so, and what he does, he basically just pops up like a little title, week out, day out, 1 hour out. That's how he starts each segment. That's the way he introduces it. And we're jumping right into the action. So, like, there's no, like, building of character.
Build-up, no setup, no
so you're not invested in the characters.
You're right into it.
Right. And so if you miss that moment, and this is what happened with Kylie, she, for whatever reason, did not catch that part because she was too busy, like, invested in the scene. She didn't even catch the subtlety of that. So she was confused the first half of the movie. That is the only thing for me that was kind of lacking as far as, like, and I had an idea because I'd read reviews before going to see it. So I knew, okay, this is telling 3 stories that merge into one. He does a great job with that.
Of interweaving the stories.
Interweaving it.
But you just felt like the story itself overall could have used a bit more character development, character build-up.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. You know, and
who are we to question him?
Right. Kylie said she would give it a ranking of a 3.
Ooh.
And I really think it's because she got lost. She got
lost in that.
Yeah,
right.
And so for her, she spent half the movie confused. I would give it more of a low 5,
maybe a high 4,
very high 4.
So which is it, 4 or 5?
You know, I think I'm hesitant because I know if I say a 4, we will actually get email for once, and it will be hate mail.
You gotta go with 4.
So I have to go with 4.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, I would say for me, I don't see myself as a highly patriotic person. So, I mean, but I think I still bring that into when I watch war movies. I think that's and so I think so because of that. And that's not the reason I would give it a 4. I think it was great. I think that was excellent. The filming of the dogfights and all of that.
Right.
But I wasn't invested in the characters.
Gotcha.
So it didn't matter to me if they died, kind of thing. That sounds horrible, but you know, it wasn't like, I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I think he's pushing the envelope. He's doing what he does, and kudos to him. That's why I would give him a 5, but like the 4, you know, just from the movie value. So that's why.
Okay. Well, you got any more that you want to discuss?
It's one that I'd heard about the material, and I was in a season of life where it's probably good that I didn't watch it, and it's Spotlight.
Spotlight, what is that?
Okay, so Spotlight has Michael Keaton, Mark Ruffalo, and it was in 2015, I think, and is basically
heard of this.
Yeah, it's a division within a newspaper that does an investigation of the Catholic Church.
Yes.
In Boston.
Okay.
most of our listeners don't know this. You know this about me. My faith has played a huge role in my life, and it's helped shape a lot of what I do and don't do. And of course, this might be a surprise to some of the people that we work with. They may be like, "What? He's a man of faith, but
religious."
But
it was the devil,
right? And so before coming back to FedEx, I worked for a church. I worked for churches in the past, and so I've seen the underbelly of a lot of things.
Yes, you have.
And I'm not going to get on my soapbox with that because that would be a 5-hour podcast.
Tune in on our sister podcast, Talking Religion, with Jim.
Right.
I will just be producer.
Right. This takes place, it was spotlighting the atrocities of the Catholic Church in Boston, of molestation of priests and kids.
Right.
And so the content is very heavy. And, I mean, I feel like they handle it very well and not just coming out and bashing. So it wasn't something like hey, here's our soapbox and this is why it's wrong.
Right.
I feel like they handled it very well in just navigating, here's the facts.
Right. So it's like a real, kind of investigative piece.
Very much so. Very much so.
Kind of like watching a Dateline thing or something, but more dramatic.
Yeah, that would be a good way to put it. So, I mean, you're basically following these reporters around as they are digging into and actually getting shut down by the Catholic Church in Boston, and they're having to deal with all these legality things, and it's just really very dramatic. I mean, obviously it's a drama, but to me, it was a great movie. Of course, I left, again, obviously because of my past experience within the church world, seeing a lot of cover-up, seeing a lot of things that are the complete antithesis of what the purpose of the church is for. I actually left more fired. It was in my living room, but I was fired up to maybe I need to speak out more on certain things or whatever. But I would give my ranking for Spotlight a 5. Yeah.
I'm the dude.
Yeah.
So that's
you said that. Now you said that this had Michael Keaton in it.
Yeah.
Is he like the head of the paper?
Yeah. So he's not the head of the paper, but he's the head of this division within the paper.
Okay.
And they're basically tasked. It's actually the group is called Spotlight. It's kind of like a series of reports or a series of stories that they're focusing on and bringing light to maybe a specific issue.
Oh, okay.
And so he kind of plays this. He just does an excellent job. Mark Ruffalo's great in it. I mean, everybody does an excellent job.
I love Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good.
Kylie, she was like, I'll give it a 4, but I think she's just harsh on things.
Kind of on the fence about it. Have you ever seen the movie The Paper?
I have not.
That also has Michael Keaton in it.
Okay.
Michael Keaton, Dennis Quaid, Glenn Close, Ron Howard directed it. I mean, Marissa Tomei is in it. I mean, it's got everybody in it. Robert Duvall.
Okay, I feel like I've heard of The Paper.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned, Michael Keaton is the head of this division called Spotlight or whatever, where they're investigating this. In The Paper, he plays a lead writer for this newspaper in New York, and basically this businessman, this wealthy businessman who I think may or may not have had ties to a mob or something, found dead in his car, and these 2 black kids are found near the car at the time. And they arrest the teenage kids.
Sure.
There's a lot of speculation of whether or not they actually did it or not and all this stuff. And so basically the movie is Michael Keaton's character trying to investigate and dig deep and get the real story what happened instead of just
going off of
instead of just doing status quo like everybody else is, just going ahead and naturally assuming that they're guilty and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really good movie.
Yeah,
I'll
have to check it out.
It's great.
I will say that aspect. If somebody can take really hot topic issues and address it in a way that's not biased, because there's a lot of movies that are very heavy-handed on one side or the other, but be able to kind of navigate that and let you walk away with, because you may even go into watching something like that with your preconceived ideas and opinions, but then when you walk away from it going, whoa, I don't know. I was fired up more about when I watched Spotlight. To the point where I was like, okay.
There's some movies that have that effect on you. They'll do that to you.
It really.
They'll get you amped up. They'll trigger something inside of you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So this next movie that you're going to talk about.
Yes.
You have been super stoked for a while.
I have been excited about this movie. I have been so amped up and ready to watch this movie literally for probably about a decade, because there have been talks about this movie being remade, redone. It's been greenlit. It's been canceled. It's been greenlit again. It's been shut down, run into production issues, run into casting issues, blah, 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 whatever. And then finally, whenever I found out essentially a year and a half ago that they've done it, they're filming it, it's going to happen, I was so freaking excited for it. And the movie, Stephen King's It, the remake, finally has happened. And I will say this, there are a lot of purists out there quote unquote purists out there who swear by the original,
which was a
TV miniseries.
TV series.
It was a TV miniseries that was shown, I believe it was on NBC when it was originally released. It was a 2-night event.
Yeah.
The story, if you guys have never read the book, which I have, it is a monster of a book.
A lot of Stephen King stuff is monster.
I'm telling you right now, but this one in particular is a ridiculous read. It is so good, and it pulls you in, and you cannot put the damn thing down. All right, and I love the original one with Tim Curry starring as Pennywise the Clown, which absolutely loved Tim Curry. The reason why I loved it so much is because when it came out, I was literally 10 years old, so it scared the living shit out of me whenever it came out.
Because that's about the age group the kids were. Yeah.
Right, it terrified the hell out of me. And my brother, who's 7 years older than me, he made sure to play on that as much as he could.
Sure.
Don't go down that dark hallway. Pennywise is going to get you. What? But I love the original. Love the book. I read the book years later.
Yeah.
And I realized, wow, the book is really dark. When I heard that they were going to be doing a remake of the original miniseries and they're going to actually do it as a theatrical release, I got so excited, but then I got apprehensive. I was like, I really hope they stay true to the original story and try and get as much of that as they can. This remake, saw it Friday night, bought the tickets a week in advance. So excited, and I will tell you this right now, that movie is a freaking masterpiece.
So it lived up to the hype.
It exceeded the hype.
Really?
So freaking much. I really want to just drop F-bombs left and right because I'm so excited.
No, I know. You were restraining yourself.
I'm really restraining myself. And,
I think our listeners appreciate that too. Some of them probably do. But
some of them are like, go ahead, man, let it rip, let it loose. But no, the movie It, some of it's changed. They changed it. They adapted it, made it a little bit more, updated some stuff.
Sure.
But they stuck true to the interaction between the characters, the character development, the story. You got to see the intensity. You got to see ferocity that they couldn't do on TV because it's network and they can't dive into that. Oh my God, this movie kicked my ass in so many good ways. I cannot even begin to describe how great this movie was.
I will say all the preliminary reviews that I've been watching, because obviously on Twitter and Instagram and stuff, like a lot of people are in agreement. They're like, this is great. It's a great beginning to a new franchise.
The original one with Tim Curry, he had elements of being terrifying in that, but for the most part, because it was on TV, a lot of it was campy. There were certain things that would, like jump scares that would get you and stuff like that. With this movie, with this remake, you get to see the Stephen King vision of what Pennywise should be with regards to what Pennywise is, what Pennywise does, not only to the community, but to the children of the community. It's freaking terrifying, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I loved it so much, man. I want to go see that damn movie right now.
Wow. Is that good? Like, I know, since we've been working together again, you've been talking about that and every little first look and every little preview and everything. So I don't share the same excitement. And that's only because, I've never been a huge horror
Are you scared,
fan.
Jim?
No.
Are you scared?
But I think because I've never been a huge horror fan. I remember watching it, same deal. I think it freaked me out, right? Hardcore. But seeing the previews, for me, I don't think that's not something I really would want to sit down and just go watch. But a lot of the reviews I've been reading is it has a lot of everything, and it's not just horror.
No.
But there's actually some good humor in it.
Well, it's funny because one of the kids plays Richie Tozier is actually one of the kids that plays on the Netflix series Stranger Things.
Okay.
So, the girls, when we went to see, they were so excited because they loved that series, and they knew that this kid was going to be in it, and he provides so much comic relief and throughout that movie. It's hilarious. But it's got humor, it's got suspense, it's got the element of drama. It's terrifying.
It's everything that a Stephen King novel really.
A Stephen King novel encompasses so many emotions when you read through.
True.
It's not just focusing on one thing. It's really like a tornado of emotion. I mean, it's the best way to describe it. And this movie, this story, as far as an adaptation to film, and I've even heard that Stephen King was impressed with how well the remake was, how it turned out.
I obviously, from your response, we know that it would be a 5. Or would you create a different genre, almost a different?
I'm not even going to give it a ranking because there's no ranking that I could give it that's
going to
be
above
adequate.
a 5.
It exceeds the 5. It exceeds beyond a 10. It goes up to a 20. I mean, it's so good.
Okay.
The fear, it wasn't going to be genuine. It wasn't going to be true to the original story, or it wasn't going to be respectful in regards to the original.
Which I would call almost like the Joker effect.
Yes.
And not because it has to do with clowns, obviously.
No.
I
know exactly what you mean because we've had this discussion before with, Jack Nicholson playing the Joker and Heath Ledger playing the Joker. Same role, different interpretation. interpretations.
Yep.
This is exactly the same thing. It's the same role, it's the same story, but it's a different interpretation. It's a different retelling of the story. And I was worried that the adaptation from the novel wasn't going to be good. That worry was erased. I was worried that it wasn't going to exceed the original. That was erased. I mean, this is so good, and it is dark.
Yeah.
But it is good.
Yeah, it looks...
Go watch it. Just watch it.
It does.
I know it's not your cup of tea.
No, it's not, but like,
Go watch
I
it.
think after reading some reviews, hearing you talk about it, who was the actor that played Pennywise?
The actor that played Pennywise in this adaptation is Bill Skarsgård. I don't know much of his work, honestly.
Yeah.
He was in Atomic Blonde, which we've talked about recently.
Right,
he
right.
had a small role in that.
Okay.
Apparently, he was on a show called Hemlock, I believe. It's on
Okay.
Netflix
Yeah.
or WB or something. I don't know. The girls knew more about him, but
Yeah.
his name's Bill Skarsgård, and if you saw him without the Pennywise makeup on and stuff,
He looks completely different, or does he?
No. Here's the thing: like who he is normal. When you look at him, you're like, "Oh, it's a good-looking guy." You know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's his eyes. His eyes are what pierce through you. And Tim Curry had the same effect. You can tell it's Tim Curry through the Pennywise makeup, but without those eyes and those mannerisms, you don't get that same performance from
Yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah.
So Tim Curry without the makeup, you can still see Pennywise. But Tim Curry's one of those unique guys. With
Sure.
he played the Devil in Legend. He played Dr. Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Pennywise the Clown in It. I
Right.
mean, he's had all these roles
Right.
where he's had heavy makeup on and stuff, but he transcended the makeup. You see Tim Curry in all of those
Yeah,
roles.
yeah.
Bill Skarsgård, he's got that look.
Okay.
He's got that look like he could, if he were to do another role later on where he had to put on some kind of outfit, makeup, whatever, he has that screen presence and that face and that look that
Okay.
will transcend whatever he's in.
Okay.
You're going to see him.
Definitely the hype, if you will, makes me want to put down the I'm not a horror movie guy and go watch it. That element. But I don't know if it's one I'll wait for the DVD so I can be scared in my own home or...
I will tell you right now, you don't want to wait for a DVD on this one.
Really?
You want to go see this in the theater. And I can't give it a ranking because I don't have a ranking high enough on here. I'll have to make a 2017 Stephen King's It ranking specifically for movies that just
how good it is. That
Yeah.
just blow your socks
that just
off.
blow your socks off.
I had a feeling you were going to like it, but I mean...
Well, that's our show. We don't need...
Obviously we could talk more movies that we've seen and things like that, but...
Well, I mean, some upcoming movies that are coming out. That
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty
there's
excited.
a lot.
There's
I mean,
a
of course,
ton of movies.
summer that kind of is usually what we've talked about in the Jaws episode is usually
Summer
blockbusters.
blockbusters, yeah.
But it
Yep.
seems like in Hollywood, and even things I've been hearing on like NPR and just even commentary about Hollywood this summer has been a big slump overall. So even like the movies that have done well, they've
Didn't make up for
done
the-
okay. Like
They did okay, but they didn't make up for the fact that there were so many other crap movies out there that dragging the box office.
It's
sales
kind of
down.
like it just has not been a good time for Hollywood for the summer. So the fall usually,
I'm
there's
telling
a
you-
lot of good stuff coming out.
There's a movie that's already out in theaters right now, The Hitman's Bodyguard. That
It looks good.
Ryan Reynolds and Samuel
Yep.
Jackson. I haven't seen it yet. My daughter has seen it, and she said it is freaking hilarious.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is hilarious.
You can't go wrong with Ryan Reynolds.
Like him as Deadpool, like even in that, like he's a funny guy.
He's so good. And you know what the great thing about Ryan Reynolds is? He is effortless with his humor.
Yeah.
Sometimes the majority of his humor comes from like this dry deadpan kind of place, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like very low key, and it's just hilarious. And then he can do over the top as well.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
that's the
he's-
great thing about him. And then of course Samuel L. Jackson is just
Samuel
ridiculous.
Jackson. So yeah,
He's just ridiculous. What about you? You got one that
dude, I have a whole list of coming soon movies.
I got a list too, man. The Foreigner. Have you seen the trailer for
I
that?
have seen that. That's actually on my list. The Foreigner,
Jackie
with
Chan
Jackie
movie.
Chan.
Now, all right, now look. Anybody who knows me, they know that I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan.
See, I didn't know that about you.
See, you didn't know that. There's a lot of people that know me. They know I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan. One of the first jobs that I ever had was mowing lawns for my dad. These properties that he did maintenance for, and he would let me cut the grass, and I would collect the payment for that.
Yeah.
I spent over $500-$600 something that summer on just Jackie Chan stuff. It was ridiculous. I had every Jackie Chan movie up to that point. This was probably 95, 96, somewhere around in there.
Okay.
Just huge.
kind
Jackie
of a Jackie Chan heyday back then.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that was around the time Rumble in the Bronx came
Yeah.
out. That was his first big, huge American release, you
Yeah.
know, which actually wasn't even an American release. It was released through a film company in Vancouver,
Yeah.
and it was actually a year and a half old before it was released in America, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny. So
It is funny,
But
yeah.
he had done other American films in the 80s.
Sure.
He did the Cannonball Run movies. He did a movie called The Protector he had a hand in the script, and he had his stunt team ready to film it and everything.
Yeah.
The director came in, changed the script completely, told him, send your stunt team home, we don't need it, and it ended up being just a terrible, terrible movie.
Yeah.
Had like maybe one or two good scenes in it, that's about it.
But see, I've always enjoyed Jackie Chan mainly because he does his own stunts. Like,
Yes.
to me, that was always the big, especially back in the 90s.
Big selling
was
point.
Like,
Big, huge selling point.
Because I would always love watching the end credits because they would show like
where
outtakes
where he got jacked up.
Yeah, or like he has like a giant boot on his foot and he's running down a train or something,
Yeah.
So
That was Rumble in the Bronx, yeah.
Yeah. So you're a huge Jackie Chan fan.
Huge.
The Foreigner, though, looks like it has a lot of element of drama, not just action.
Well, here's the thing about Jackie Chan. He has turned down many roles over the years because they contradicted who his personality and what his personality is as far as his fans go. He is this happy-go-lucky, smiling, clean-cut guy, hero. Yeah. He has turned down so many roles where he could have been the villain, and he would have made a great villain.
Right.
But he turned him down just for the simple fact that he has this perception, especially in Asia, for who he is. Give you a little story as an indication of how serious it is. He was married and actually had a son, and he kept that private for years. And then it leaked that he was married and had a son. One of his big time fans, a female, jumped in front of a train and killed herself.
Wow.
When she found out, when it went public. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They take that stuff pretty serious over there, And so he had to kind of honor that as far as an actor, which he's actually a really good actor.
Yeah, he is.
But the point being is he could have done so much more from an acting standpoint.
Right.
But because of the way culture is over there and his image and how he had to protect that, he declined one of the more famous ones. He declined. There's a movie called Black Rain starring Michael Douglas. It came out in the 80s.
Yep.
It was Michael Douglas, I believe, is a cop trying to track down like a Chinese syndicate or something like that in Chinatown. And Jackie Chan was first in line to be the main villain in that movie. He had to turn it down.
Wow.
The thing about The Foreigner is this is more of a dramatic role, and a lot of people don't see him in that light. A lot of people see him in that happy-go-lucky, always smiling kind of, whimsical kind of Jackie Chan character.
Yeah.
But this is like a departure from that. But from what I've seen in the trailer
looks awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be so awesome because he can legitimately play the badass, but he hasn't for so long because of those reasons. But this is him stepping into that role, and I think he's going to be able to pull it off because it just looks so good.
Yeah, and it's coming out October 13th. That same weekend, another movie that I have on my list is Goodbye Christopher Robin.
Goodbye Christopher Robin.
Right, and to me, so I'm on the IMDb. I've got their app, obviously, because I do a lot of the social media stuff, so I'm trying to keep up with a lot of...
Hold on. You don't do a lot of the social media stuff. You do all of the social media stuff.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's just go ahead and put that out there.
But it's actually... The app
occasionally update Facebook, but let's not make no bones about it. He does the social media, okay?
Yeah, so I'm trying to stay hip and relevant.
Don't ever say hip
Don't ever
again.
say hip again.
You can't say
That
hip
just made me
or
unhip
relevant.
or relevant, right? But
Can't say
so
unhip
Goodbye
either.
Christopher Robin, though, I was looking at some of the upcoming trailers, and it is basically the story of how Winnie the Pooh came to be.
Okay.
And so it's about the author who apparently, and I didn't realize this, but I guess Christopher Robin was based off of his son. It's kind of his story of how he deals with a lot of PTSD, and kind of he was pigeonholed as a playwright, and he wanted to do something different.
I
saw
the trailer for this. I think so.
Just watching the trailer, I'm not going to say gave me goosebumps, but it was definitely one of those emotional, kind of feel good. To me, I don't think it probably won't do huge in the box office.
Right.
Because it's not your typical, hey, let's go see. But I really think I'm definitely going to check it out.
The idea of telling the story behind how something was created, it kind of reminded me, and I haven't seen the movie, but the movie with Tom Hanks that came out within the last year and a half, where he plays Walt Disney, Saving Mrs. Banks, I believe.
Saving Mrs. Banks. I haven't seen that. My wife loves it.
I thought
Kylie
that looked great.
It.
I thought it looked really good. I just haven't seen it yet.
Kylie loves it, but her favorite movie as a kid was Mary Poppins. So
I love Mary Poppins.
So The Foreigner, Goodbye Christopher Robin. Any other coming soon?
Thor Ragnarok.
That one's being promoted like crazy right now.
I'm telling you, it's
looking pretty good.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok, I am jacked to see that movie. The whole entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm just so impressed with how well they have just weaved the story together amongst all the different characters. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the painstaking detail that it takes to put all of that together. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You have to essentially start with an overall vision and figure out how to navigate that with each character, and then stay true to the characters, and then create the character's own individual quote-unquote universe, and then weave those universes with other characters' universes.
Which I think some of that, though, has been done within the comics already.
Well, I mean, I get that, but I'm just
adapt all of that.
But to adapt it, to put it all together.
Story in a movie format.
But also take the individual individual stories from each individual character,
Yeah.
and weave them into the overall scope,
Yeah.
and then still have the movies be standalones, but then also play into essentially being chapters of an overall story.
Right.
It is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Marvel's obviously ahead of the game on that.
Oh, my
DC is finally
DC
starting to come along,
sucks.
but they're still struggling there. They're still
The DC universe of what they've done, what they've put out so far, I just not impressed.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I haven't seen all of them. I've seen the first Superman, which was okay.
yeah.
No,
I'll be honest, I haven't. The only thing I've seen
It wasn't
DC
that
wise is Suicide Squad. Now I hear Wonder Woman is really good.
Suicide Squad was great.
Yeah.
With the exception of Jared Leto, which
Right.
we've already talked about that.
Right.
They could have left the freaking Joker out of it,
Yeah.
but the overall story was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I just don't see how. I don't know. I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
For Justice League. It looks so terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It looks so terrible.
Yeah. I
It
think
looks cheesy as shit. It looks it's stupid looking. It
Yeah.
just does not look entertaining at all.
It's almost like maybe the producers and stuff have said we've got to put something out because Marvel's kicking our rear
Well,
end
I
right
made
now.
the joke on Facebook. They
Yeah, I
released
saw.
it.
I was going to mention that. Yeah,
I made the joke on
Your
on,
meme.
on Facebook. They put out this trailer for DC's Justice League, and it's like I made the comment. It's like DC's like, we put out this trailer for Justice League. No one can top that. Then Thor Ragnarok's like, hold my beer, because you watch a trailer for Thor and you're like, oh, that looks way better.
Right.
That looks so much better. I mean, it really does.
Yeah.
I don't know. I cannot get on board with DC. I just cannot.
Yeah.
There's nothing about what they're putting out that just strikes me at all. But the Marvel stuff, you got Thor Ragnarok coming out. You got Black Panther coming out early next year.
Yeah.
And Black Panther, I'm really excited about because I wondered what kind of story they were going to put out for. Because I'm going into this with no prior knowledge. I'm not a fanboy. Never been a comic book guy.
Yeah.
I'm all about story.
Right.
So give me a good story.
Right.
Give me compelling characters. Give me good story. And since these are action movies, give me some damn action that actually makes sense with the story and the characters. Marvel has delivered on that. They've more than delivered. Hollywood and filmmakers taking these stories and adapting them into screenplays. It's the Stephen King effect.
Yeah.
We just started another one. The Stephen King effect.
Mother by Darren Aronofsky. Dude, that
Darren
looks
Aronofsky, yeah, I
terrifying
tell you
and
what, man,
creepy.
I didn't know what the hell that was until I saw the trailer, and I was like, woo, that looks heavy.
But I mean, it's heavy with the acting. As far as the cast, Jennifer Lawrence, Ed Harris, Michelle Pfeiffer, Javier. I don't know how to pronounce his
Javier Bardem.
Yeah, but like it looks. It's. I think it's going to stay true to Darren's. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Aronofsky.
Yes.
Hey, wait, who was the lead in that again?
Jennifer Lawrence. But dude, it. You had to bring it on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had to.
Yeah, but that one looks terrifying and looks like it's going to be a good one. And American Assassin's another one with Michael Keaton.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yep. I mean, Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal about the guy from the Boston Marathon bombing.
I saw the trailer for that, too.
Yeah.
A
So
lot of these I
there's-
can't remember the titles,
Yeah,
but once you
yeah.
start describing it, I remember seeing them, yeah.
And then a Liam Neeson one coming out.
Which one was
As
that
Mark
one?
Felt, something about bringing Washington down or something. Like the guy that exposed the Watergate scandal. I don't know.
And that's Liam Neeson's in
that's
that?
Liam Neeson, yes. And I mean, of course, his voice.
So
for
that'll
that,
be a political drama.
Yes, but it looks
I love political dramas.
looks great. So
good.
Yeah, but anyway,
Awesome.
so that's
Well, I
on
think-
my list of coming soon.
Well, I mean, there's
so.
obviously something to that then with the summer being down and then
Yeah.
the fall bringing us
It's like
back
boom,
up.
boom,
So
boom,
yeah,
yeah.
so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for us, good for Hollywood, good for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So-
which we love movies, so
Right.
we gotta have that. What do you like best?
Dude, it's so.
Do you prefer to be at home? Do you like the theater? I mean, what do you got? Or are you the type of person
I-
that takes a little bit of everything?
If I could have my preference would be with a bucket of popcorn, a big soda, alone in the theater. And so used to when I waited at tables, I would work a lot of double shifts. I worked right next to AMC.
Yeah, because you were at Hacienda
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. So slinging wet burritos, like I would normally get done with my first shift early. I would literally go over.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I think we're missing an opportunity for a T-shirt. Slinging wet burritos.
Slinging wet burritos, like
Right.
it's my job because it was. But anyway,
go on.
yeah. But then I would literally walk across the parking lot, go to
you're
like a
right there.
matinee, and so I mean I saw a ton of movies back then.
bet.
I didn't have much of a paycheck because I spent all my tips, but whatever. So I think it's the whole movie experience for me that I really enjoy. Obviously with two kids, and then
Times
plus
have changed.
Right, times have changed, as well as like Kylie and I, we have very different preferences in movies. But for us now,
That'll
it's
happen.
more of a more of a sit down at home. So, we recently got Amazon Prime. We have Netflix, thanks to our cousin, which I'm not going to say her name because I think we should give her a special shout out sometime soon. But
I think we should just have her in the studio.
I agree.
But
yeah,
that's
she's
just my opinion.
Yeah, she's a movie buff.
I have a lot of back and forth with her online. She definitely needs to be on the show.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think she'd have fun with that. But thanks to her, we have Netflix, and so most of our stuff we get through those venues now.
Right.
So, but even then, there's so many things I want to watch, but again, finding time.
Yes.
So usually it's like we're sharing that time.
Exactly.
So we have to kind of come to
it's
a
kind of
mutual
hard
agreement.
to find time to really dive into multiple movies or multiple TV shows or something unless it's something that you really both enjoy at the same time.
So I almost have to look for a time where she's like, hey, I'm going to go visit my family. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to binge watch something over the weekend.
There you go.
Like,
exactly. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I have always, it's a weird thing. I don't know why I've always felt this way, but I've always loved going to the theater to see movies opening nights.
Really?
I don't know why that is. I don't know. I think what it was is growing up, I watched a lot of old television. And so I would see like these old specials and stuff where they would talk about like old Hollywood. And, you see these movie premieres and you see people dressed up and it was a big event. They would go to these opening nights and stuff, and it's just, you felt magic. You felt something from it. So for me, there was something about being in a dark theater, opening night for a movie that you're so excited to go see with a bunch of other people who are like-minded and they're there to see it. There's always been something magical about that. That's the only way I can describe it. And maybe it's kind of like a silly old-fashioned notion, but I still feel that. I haven't felt it for a long time. I felt that Friday night when we went and saw it. Okay. I was so excited. It was opening weekend, movie I've been wanting to see for a long time, and I was giddy. I was excited. I was like a little kid. It kind of goes back to the movie The Majestic with Jim Carrey. Yeah. They open up the movie house again and start showing movies, and it's like this big deal in this town, and I wish we had something small like that here. Something where people would go and just understand and respect the magic of a movie-going experience. Yeah. Because it's an experience. It really is.
I feel like there's a theater that's been refurbished down in the Arts District on Haney's Corner, but I don't know if they're showing movies. I feel like they have done some where they've showed older classic movies and stuff. So
I thought they turned that place into a restaurant.
Maybe they did. I can't remember.
Maybe they should show movies while they're eating. Dinner and a movie.
But if so, maybe we can find a classic you haven't seen and do an episode on that or something.
Oh, we got several of those.
Right. But anyway.
The list is ever expanding. We actually canceled our cable and just went strictly Netflix.
A lot of people are doing that.
We got a ton of TV shows on there. I have a list here. Netflix must-watches. Yeah. House of Cards, which I don't know if you've ever seen.
I have not. It looks good. Kevin Spacey.
Political drama. Kevin Spacey, Robin Wright Penn. Outstanding show. Just an outstanding. It is so ridiculous how much it mirrors what's going on in the world now. Yeah. Crazy stuff. So I highly recommend that. And of course, Stranger Things, which I know you haven't seen.
Not yet.
You definitely need to see that. Stranger Things 2, season 2 is coming out this October. Okay. I believe the week before Halloween. So it falls in line with all the other movie releases that are coming out. A lot of good stuff's coming out to watch. So I'm pretty jazzed up and excited about Stranger Things. And then we just finished up Marvel's The Defenders.
Man, I'm so far behind.
So
dude, I haven't even finished.
You are getting the dude what treatment now.
No, right. No, seriously, I haven't even finished Daredevil yet.
Oh my God.
Yes, I know.
Season 1 or season 2?
I'm still in season 1. I'm like, I literally.
You haven't seen season 2?
Not even. No, but I know that I know the Punisher's in it, and I know that they're going to be doing a Punisher series. And for me, growing up, Punisher was the guy. Okay. So but yes. So I still haven't seen Luke Cage. All of the Defender. Yeah, I know. Okay. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Kylie hates superhero movies.
Oh my God.
I actually contacted the guy that married us and I said, you should have went over this in marriage counseling.
She may not be into superhero stuff, okay, that's fine. But like we always talk about on the show, story. The Marvel's universe, the lesser Marvel's universe that's on Netflix, the series that they're doing on there, the stories that they are telling on there are so damn compelling. They go beyond superpowers and superheroes and stuff like that. It's about more than that. Yeah. It's about people who essentially are outcasts finding their place in life. Who can't relate to that?
Sure.
I tell people all the time with stuff like this, when you got good story, you got to kind of look beyond what the surface is. Yeah. The whole not judging a book by its cover thing. You got to look beyond that. Yeah. 2 seasons of Daredevil are just fantastic.
No, I'm literally on the precipice of going into the season finale.
Season finale of season 1.
Yes.
Okay.
So
strap yourself
right
in
there
for season 2 because season 2 is ridiculously good.
Really?
And you said you love Punisher.
Yeah.
Okay. You saw the movie Punisher with Thomas Jane and John Travolta.
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
It is, yeah.
This performance blows that away.
Really?
Blows it away.
Well, I know know that the actor who plays it is the guy that played Shane in The Walking Dead, which you're not a fan of. So, but
I was a fan of his character from The Walking Dead,
and he's also in Fury, which I don't know if you've seen that or not, but like it's with Brad Pitt. It's about a tank.
Oh yeah,
tank
yeah. I know what you're talking about. I never
really
saw it, but
highly recommend it. It's a good movie.
Right.
But, so I'm excited. Like I heard he's getting his own series. Basically, the Punisher's getting his own series.
There's a spinoff series, Punisher.
But I'm excited to get to that because I've always been a fan of the Punisher, and I think it's because he's more of a darker character in the Marvel universe.
He's dark on this too,
and I feel like to me he is. I'm not going to put him on the level of Batman, okay, but I would say he's almost like Marvel's version of Batman, except because if you read DC Comics, there's some very dark elements to that, and I think Christopher Nolan captures that. I don't know, so I'm a huge fan of the Punisher.
What they did with his character in this is outstanding.
Yeah,
the story, oh my god, it's a brutal story, but it's beautifully done.
Yeah,
it's so good how they tie him in with what's going on with the other stories. Again, Marvel just nailing it, just home run out of the park. Brings up a good question, all right, since we're talking about Netflix and shows that are on there. What are your thoughts on binge watching? Like, yay, nay?
I think, again, because of the season of life I'm in, I can appreciate binge watching because there's only certain windows of time for me. It's like, okay, girls are out of town. I can sit down and try to watch as many episodes as I can, which becomes like a mini movie or a larger movie. So there is that, but then also it does take away the element that TV has been capitalizing on for a while. And kind of let's be honest, we've actually kind of tapped into some of that with our show. You have to wait till next week to find out what's in the box. So there is that element of anticipation in day-to-day life. I think when people are watching a series on TV, like there's more conversation, dialogue going on throughout the week. Well, what do you think is going to happen? It takes away a lot of that. I think it definitely has changed it's going to have to change the dynamics of the way that TV shows do TV because there is so much binge watching and telling the story because you're going back to back, so you're not waiting for.
Well, I feel like with binge watching, it's just a reflection of where our society is. We want it fast, we want it now. We don't want to wait. I feel like a lot of times we need to slow down on stuff like that. With TV, in regards to TV viewing, TV watching, what I've discovered personally, I enjoy binge watching shows because a lot of times I do get into those modes where I'm watching an episode and I'm like, oh shit, I wish I could just go ahead and watch the next one. Oh, it's already there.
I can.
I can go ahead and watch it. Sometimes I do like the TV aspect. Like there's a show that plays now, and season 2 is getting ready to start. This Is Us on NBC.
Have not seen it yet. Heard it is excellent.
It is probably one of the most beautiful shows you ever watch. But This Is Us is a great show, but the writing on it is so good and the story is so compelling and the characters are so believable and relatable. I don't mind to wait because I'm invested in it. So it's like, oh man, I got to wait till next week, but that's okay because I'm tuning in. I think a lot of times though, certain shows, they need that binge watchability to it. They need that because sometimes the stories kind of get lost on people, and especially whenever you have X amount of episodes over X amount of weeks, and then you throw in preempted television. The president comes on for a speech or something.
Yeah, and if the characters aren't strong enough and the story's not strong enough, you're not invested to wait.
Seen it so many times. That was kind of like, honestly, that was the downfall of Heroes. But Heroes is one of those shows, if you go back and watch it now on Netflix from beginning to end, that show is freaking great. It is great from beginning to end. I just feel so bad that they canceled it because they were at a point where the story was getting ready to get crazy.
So let me ask you this. Do you think Heroes would probably do better if it became like Netflix, like if they bought that? And
if Netflix bought Heroes,
and just continued that
Heroes
story
franchise, it would be good from a binge watching standpoint. It would fit that element because there's so many moving parts with that storyline that you need to be able to stay on top of it. It's really hard for people to keep track of 7, 8, 9 different characters going from week to week. But when you're binge watching, you don't have to worry about that because the episode is right there. You don't have to worry about it. I think a show like Heroes could definitely have a lot of success if it was picked up by Netflix and redone. But my only issue with it is they would have to get Milo Ventimiglia back, who played Peter Petrelli. They would have to get Hayden Panettiere, who played the cheerleader Claire Bennett. They would have to get the guy who played Siler. All these
this is some years later now.
These are actors and characters that were pivotal to the original story, but they can't get which they didn't get any of those guys back for the reboot. If you can't get any of those,
which honestly is probably why it flopped just as much.
If you can't get those original core people back to do a reboot, then don't even worry about doing it because it's not going to be any good. But Netflix, as far as binge watching, I think it's good for certain stories. Other stories don't need it, but for other stories, it's kind of needed.
Yeah, I've got a ton of stuff I need to binge.
Yes, you do.
I know we've talked about, like, with Breaking Bad, and we were doing the top 5 war movies.
I still can't believe you haven't seen
I know, man.
Breaking Bad.
I know. I keep getting flack from everybody for
Ladies
it.
and gentlemen, send us emails at dudewhatpod@hotmail.com and let us know what you think about Jim Miller having not seen Breaking Bad. I know we talk about movies on here, but let's be honest. Breaking Bad is the greatest TV show ever made, and he's never seen it. So,
well, there's another one you gave me a Dude What with when we did the top 5 war movies.
What?
It was a miniseries.
Oh, Band of Brothers.
Band of Brothers.
You've never seen Band of Brothers.
But
either.
I will say that because we have Amazon Prime, it is on there. I'm starting to watch that, so I'm going to redeem that. I've gotten through the first episode. But
you got through the first episode?
Yeah.
Yes, episode 2 is where it's at, man.
Dude, but yeah, because
so
I remember when you were like talking about Band of Brothers, and I was like,
parachute
hey.
in, man. Oh my god, that scene is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
strap yourself in, man, because you're not going to want to watch this one episode. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
You're going to watch probably like 3 or 4 in one night. I mean, you might stay up till 4 in the morning, and it'll be totally worth it.
Yeah. I got to write up at work for it. That'd be all right.
Go.
I'll take it. Dude,
Right,
we've actually gone long for a round table.
For a round table, yeah, but I'm having fun talking about this stuff.
I am too. Hopefully you guys are having fun listening.
What we want to do right now is we want to give Jim Miller a chance to redeem some of these movies that we've seen on the show here. This is obviously episode 10, so we've watched 9 movies up until this point. We kind of want to go back and just revisit some of the ones that we've done.
Sure.
I'm gonna read off the movie.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you the ranking that I gave it, and I want you to make your case whether you agree with it, you don't agree with it, whatever, and then you give me your ranking. What you think?
Okay. I'll see if I can make a case.
All right, first up, let's go all the way back to the beginning, the one that started it all.
Flashback.
We released this the week before Shark Week, and it was Jaws, episode 1, and I gave it a ranking of a 5.
Yeah.
I gave it the Big Lebowski treatment. Do you agree, or do you think that it deserved a lesser ranking? What do you think?
No, I think what I vaguely remember, it's so crazy to think that we've only done 10 episodes, but it seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
But like I think your ranking and the reason for your ranking and all of that was good. I would agree with you. It's a 5. For crying out loud, on the social media aspect, just Jaws alone, like there's a page dedicated to it. They've got a crap ton of followers, and they're always putting out fun information, even to this day, about behind the scenes stuff and all this. Like Jaws is one of those that it's an anchor, it's a foundation for a lot of what we do with movies now. Based off of that, based off of just all the elements that we had talked about even in that episode, I would agree with you. It's definitely still a 5.
I'm
5?
Dude.
Yeah.
It's the dude
So
treatment.
that's what you call me, you know?
We're not going to run the whole clip. We don't need to.
No,
they
we
know
don't
what
need
it
to.
sounds
They know
like.
what it is.
They know what it sounds like.
Yeah, they know what it is.
All right, episode 2 saw the near death of me when it was unveiled.
At that point.
At that point. A little movie, you may have heard of it. I don't know. It stars a guy who's had a little bit of success in Hollywood, Mel Gibson. I don't know. He might go somewhere in life.
Maybe.
Maybe.
He's on the uptick. So.
Yeah. There's a little movie called Braveheart.
Yeah.
That was Freedom! And cut his head off. All right.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. But I gave that a ranking of 5.
Obviously, man, like Braveheart is, like I told you even in that episode, was one of my top 5, top 10 movies of all time. Like for me, if you would have given it anything less than a 5, I would have cut your head off. No. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
I'm the dude.
Yeah,
That's what you call me.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that.
Episode 3 saw a little bit of controversy on our part, so actually, no, I take it back, on Jim's part.
And it was more after episode 3.
It was after, but episode 3 was the genesis of the first bit of controversy.
A little controversy, yeah.
A little bit.
Sure, and your ranking was a 3.
Groundhog Day, the movie Groundhog Day, Bill Murray, quote unquote classic. I gave it a dude ranking of 3. I gave it the Back to the Future 3 effect. Do you feel like that is fair, not fair?
I think, because I think he even said, like, the following week when I was going on my rant, my tangent, that I think our original assessment, I don't feel like was fair. The ranking, I think, would still stay at 3, as far as from the entertainment value. It's one of those that, like, Groundhog Day, and honestly, we were talking about Dunkirk earlier, I thought about Groundhog Day, because it had these effects of... bringing it back. It had the effect of the play with time, is what I was trying to say. Oh, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Totally threw me off my game. Jerk.
right, in all seriousness, I gave it a 3. What do you feel like?
I feel like 3 was fair.
You feel like 3
I feel
was
like
fair?
it would be and because it's not one of those.
Hey, dude.
It's not a movie that a lot of people are going to go back and watch. After you've seen it, you know it, like it's
right.
You know, so I would agree. It's a 3.
Okay.
I think that's honestly when I begin to discover, because we do the reviews immediately after watching them, that after sitting on it for a week, I think coming back to it, we have different reviews, or we can.
You think in the moment though a 3 is fine?
Right, a 3 is fine. But that's where I think I begin to realize, like, okay, maybe we need down the road to have a blog or something where we do a final thought on.
Gotcha.
You know, so.
Well,
moving on to 4.
Episode 4,
probably one of my favorite episodes.
Probably
honestly.
the funniest episode we've done.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've done a couple that were pretty funny, but episode 4, Top Gun. I trashed the hell out of this.
Yeah, you did.
And I gave it a dude ranking of 2. So
That's
I mean,
rough, man.
It is. I mean.
I will say, watching it again with fresh eyes, I still don't know if I would give it a 2. I maybe would put it at a 3.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean,
What's your
Give
name?
it the.
yeah, I would. I think because there's so many elements of that. It's, again, Top Gun's more of a cult classic.
It should be shown to cults.
Right. But I think that,
with
yeah,
the
you
classic.
definitely trashed the heck out of Top Gun.
Dude.
And even in that episode, I think afterwards I told you, I was like, oh, crap, I forgot to mention, like, one of the main stunt pilots had actually died in filming of that, doing the barrel roll that killed Goose.
I don't think that's what killed him.
Well,
I think it's the embarrassment of being in that film.
no, what? That's so rough. I had forgot to mention that during the time. But anyway, I would say that there are elements of Top Gun that that would deserve a 3. I mean, I'm not going to give it a, it's a 3 for me.
It's a 3 for you?
For me.
Okay.
You gave it a 2, I'd give it a 3.
It's still a 2.
I'm just trying to be generous, maybe. I don't know. So episode 5.
Episode 5 is a comedy, quote-unquote, classic. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of was not too fair to this one either. I gave it a dude ranking of 2 as well. And I think I cited the main reason why I gave it a 2 was character development and character interaction throughout the movie. I just didn't feel like it was characters that were just not relatable to me, and I wasn't sympathetic towards them. So,
Right.
so I went with a 2.
Yeah, and I think that, like, especially based off of the story, based off of all of that, I would have to agree with you on that. I think
really?
I think, yeah, it would be a 2.
Be a 2?
Serious. I just sharted.
I just sharted. Yeah. If it was like, hey, it's a raunch-com and that's all it is, I would give it more of a 3. Yeah, I think because of a lot of the elements we talked about, I feel like, honestly, out of that one, and to shout out to Todd Trout that we gave, after he had listened to it, we actually started talking more because he has girls. I have daughters that are a lot younger, but like just talking about high school life. And for me, the reality of a lot of just those elements, I think we had a lot of good conversation even based off of that. I don't know, for me, there was those redeeming elements after the fact, but it's not one that you're going to sit, like we even talked about in that episode. It's not a character study. It's a raunch-com, and that's what it was. So, like,
Essentially, yeah.
I mean, basically.
A lot of elements added to it that didn't need to be added to it.
Right.
They could have just stuck to just being a comedy fest.
Yeah. So I would agree with you.
a lot of agreement going here. It's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 6. This is a big one. This is a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Alien.
remember. Oh, yeah, Alien.
It'll be Alien. You forgot about Alien, huh?
I forgot that was number 6.
Yeah, episode 6. We did that right after Fast Time. I gave it a dude ranking of a 4, and I think basically it didn't get a 5 because of the cat plot hole.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think after watching it, after kind of reading more about the cat, of course, this is knee-jerk reaction. I think I probably agreed with you then, but I would put it more on the level of a low 5.
So you're feeling like it's getting the Big Lebowski?
Yeah, I would. Because I think it set the precedent for a lot of sci-fi stuff afterwards. And so because of that, based off of, again, putting on the hat of like this 70, whatever it was.
79.
Yeah, 79. And there's so many elements about Alien. Like the cat didn't make sense and it was frustrating, but also at the same point, it kind of did. I mean, it definitely drove, like even what was the scene where they were going to look for the cat, like because he kept setting off the sensors. So that's where they didn't know it was the alien is the cat and things like that. So I would give it more of a 5. I feel like, yeah, we definitely reamed on the cat and stuff. I think that there was definitely some purpose in looking for that. Maybe that we overlooked at first. Yeah.
Episode 7 was a big one.
It was.
You almost killed me over this one. More so than Braveheart. I commented during the show that you took this one a lot harder than the Braveheart one. It was The Lion King.
Yes.
Which I ended up giving a ranking of a 5.
Yeah, I know, and I would agree. Obviously, I agree with that 100%.
You agreed with the 5?
Yeah, and I think that, more so because my daughter had seen it and you hadn't. So
Well, my daughter had seen it. And
Right.
For me, a 5, just because, I mean, it's animated musical, but the story was so good.
Yeah.
So much darker than I expected. It's
Sure,
just ridiculous. We dove into some stuff that isn't typically lighthearted,
Right.
You know, which is the norm for our show.
Right.
Lighthearted and ridiculous.
Right. Well, and I think also, because even listening to multiple podcasts and stuff like that, and you hear radio personalities and things, like, people most often, they like, hey, we're going to deal with the surface level of the content. And they don't get in, or they'll deal with the content of the movie, but they don't get into their personal lives. And I think because that's a persona that you want to keep, you know, keep a distance, things like that. For us, like,
we don't persona.
Yeah, we don't. It's not like we have a huge following or anything. Anyway, but like at the same point, right? Like, I think for me, because we did get a little real and raw about our personal lives a little more, and kind of digging into that and letting people kind of into our world, I think that's why I appreciate it so much, because I know enough about you to know, like, we laugh, we cut up, we have a good time, but also there's a depth there that a lot of people don't know, and I feel like maybe it's coming out more.
And it's not really by design either.
No,
it's just, you know, more times than not, you know, I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. Yeah. I couldn't resist.
It was good. That was great.
I'm kind of like a social idiot. If you want to have a deep conversation and talk about some stuff, I can definitely do that.
Right.
I have no problem doing that, but for the most part, I just like to have fun.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just get that, and I think a lot of times it's to a fault, really, because I think more people don't take me serious, you know, and don't give me the credit for having a certain level of intellect that I don't necessarily show, and that's fine if that's how you want to perceive me, and that's cool.
But no, so I don't know. For me, I enjoyed that episode. I walked away from that going, that was good. Other people may not have agreed. We do laugh, we cut up, we have a good time. I'm the same way. A lot of people are like, oh, he's a jokester. Oh, most people now looking at him as a cynic, but like, you know, they're like, once you get past the rough exterior. So
Episode 8. Now, this was a fun one.
Yeah.
First ever guest on the Dude What podcast. Had Mr. Stephen A. Turner in the 2420 West studios, and we got to break down the movie Point Break, which he was surprised I hadn't seen it, but also excited because I just wanted to see the movie again. So.
He was,
he was like, great, we get to watch the movie. You know? So, and I gave it a 5. Honestly, I know what you're going to say. It's a 5. This movie was so good.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
Yeah. Again, that's another one I went out and bought so that we could watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, he got the Big Lebowski treatment.
Lebowski.
I mean, it was so good. I mean, it really was. I was surprised at how great it was. I mean, because surfer movie, whatever, you know.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves early. Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what to expect. It was actually a really good movie.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. So
it was.
Yeah.
And then that brings us to our most recent outing, episode 9. Now, episode 9 was Commando, and
Cue steel drums.
I gave it a dude ranking of 3. Was I drunk when I evaluated this? Was I on Sudafed or something? Was I not in my body? Was somebody doing a poltergeist? You know, some kind of like exorcism of my body, and I was removed or something. Did someone take me over when I gave it a 3?
So are you gonna renege on your 3?
I kind of have to. Jesus.
What would you give it now? After because you've actually had to listen to the montage a lot and do as you're editing, so I had to listen to everything. So.
I had so much fun editing the show and just listening to us because I was laughing. I was laughing listening to us laugh. Oh my god!
Because we were talking about like, the actress sounds like a really bad porn star actress or whatever. Like, you know, every line after you isolate just the audio. Yeah, it's just
she sounded like a really bad porn actress or a really good porn actress.
Yeah,
there's no distinction between the two.
So, but anyway,
I gave Commando a dude ranking of a 3, and it was begrudgingly. That was the one that I.
You said it was knocking on a door of 2.
Well, I actually gave it 2 rankings. I did a first on this. I gave it an 80s tunnel vision review of a 4 because it's just a strictly action movie.
Okay, yeah,
80s action. Looking at it through those eyes, I gave it a 4 because it delivered on the action. Right. It was a good action movie. But as far as an official review, what we do on the show here, really looking at these movies that I've never seen that are considered quote unquote classics. Right. I gave it a 2, knocking on the door of a 1.
That's right. So
I split the difference and gave it a 3. That was pretty damn generous, if you ask me, considering just how god awful this movie was. So I'll stick with it. Okay. I'll leave it at the 3 that it's at. I actually have it in my notes, and you can see it on the screen. I got the official review of a 2 and then the 80s review of a 4. So what do you think? I gave it a 3.
That's right. So I forgot that you had given this one 2 rankings, and based off of both, I would have to agree with your assessment. I think because it is a staple of my childhood in a sense, I would make it a high 3 because I remember watching that movie quite often.
Kind of like with how
kind of like Steve was talking about. Like that was, he'd come home and his dad was watching it. So it's a part of my childhood. So
a sentimental childhood memory effect with regards to
but if
the
we were just being a movie
4.
critic, I would agree with you more on,
like a 2.
Low 3. High,
low 3, 2.
1 plus 2 equals 3, so.
Like a gutter. Like it's like a trash bin, like not even.
It wasn't Arnold's best.
That's probably the most polite way you could put it, that it sucked so bad. It wasn't Arnold's best. He was sleepy that day.
He was sleepy.
God. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, basically we're on par.
Yeah.
You and I are kind of neck and
We're very like-minded.
Like-minded with the majority
stuff,
of these. You know, we can take solace in that. We're at least on the same page.
For the most part,
long on this, aren't we?
Yeah. But, hey, it is our 10th episode.
Episode 10. I mean, we're having fun with this.
Yeah.
All right,
hopefully, again, you guys are too. So
we got one more little segment thing that we're going to do here before we actually get towards the end of the show. We're about to wrap up here, and hopefully you guys are still hanging with us.
Yeah.
I know we're running long on this. You know, one thing that was brought up to us by some of the other people that listened to the show was they really enjoyed the idea of us talking more about us, sharing who we are, just being more personable.
The Lion King effect.
The Lion King. Man, we have so
There's
many
a lot of effects.
We have special effects.
What was that? No, anyway.
What was that?
You were like in the moment of giving a monologue. Go.
Forgot what I was saying. No. We do this for you guys, and we want to invest in the show and invest in you guys just as much as you guys invest your time into listening to us. And so to pay back to that, you know, we want to be open with who we are and talk about who we are. And that way, you know, we create like a sense of a community or something, you know, something like that. Yeah. Decided, you know, for this special episode that we're doing right now, we're going to do a little segment called Getting to Know the Duders. So basically, I have a couple questions that I'm going to ask Jim. Jim's going to ask me a couple questions, and maybe give you guys a little bit of insight into who we are. You know, just certain little things. You know, we'll do this from time to time. You know, just of course on each episode we'll talk about stuff that's going on in our lives, who we are. You know, relate to things in our past and stuff like that. So you can get an overall scope of who we are as people and really invest into the show, because that's what we really want to do. We want you guys to be a part of what we're doing.
Right. Like we've got a couple of questions. Our hope is that you as listeners will you'll either tweet us, Instagram, like whatever platform you prefer to communicate with us.
Join the conversation like we always talk, but not just a movie conversation, but just an overall conversation.
So you can send
we want to get to know you. You want to get to know us.
You can send us questions of like, hey, I would like to know this about you guys. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, exactly. You know, just to create a dialogue between us and the people that listen to the show. And so we just have a couple questions. I'm going to ask Jim. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll let you go first because I have a few, but I don't know what you're getting ready to ask me. So that's what I was like. Are these in-depth questions or are they just fun? So we'll see what happens.
I decided to keep it lighthearted.
Okay, good.
Nothing too deep. You know, we can dive down in that rabbit hole later on. We actually did a little bit on Lion King anyway.
Yeah.
We're going to release behind-the-scenes clips later on at a later date, and you'll find out what the original working title for the Lion King episode was. Very wrong.
I forgot you were recording that part.
My first one, it's not even really a question. It's just I wrote down, everyone knows that you are a dad. So
I talk about it a lot. Just
tell us a little bit about your family. You know, your kids, your wife. Just tell us.
Okay, a little insight. See, Kylie and I have been married a little over 5 years. I've shared earlier, like my faith has played a huge role. I've worked in churches and stuff. I was a part of an inner city church plant at the time, a church startup, working with inner city youth. Really fruitful, really challenging, really cool time of my life. And that was actually when I had met Kylie. So she, you know, we were friends. We were kind of serving together, things like that. I had a really long strand of bad relationship decisions.
I don't remember any of that at all.
Right. Actually, now that I mentioned that, I do remember. You were my go-to for venting a lot of times with different people at different seasons. And so... You know, we dated for a little bit. I can't remember. We dated maybe for 10 months of even that. We're engaged for 3. Planned a wedding in 10 hours, actually, on a trip to Tennessee. And we had a ton of our friend group that just had connections for food. And
it took you 10 hours to get to Tennessee?
No, it was a whole weekend trip. So 5 hours down, 5 hours back kind of thing. So
starting to see why you're having issues with FedEx.
Right. No, it didn't take 10 hours to get to Tennessee. But, So
anyway,
we've been married that long, for 5 years, and then we've had Nora, who will be 3 in October, and then Annabelle, who just literally, as we're recording today, is 6 months old. So,
nice.
All girls, crazy.
Poor soul.
Yeah.
In the same
but
boat
dude,
with you.
they are hilarious. They are so much fun. Beautiful girls. I told Kylie, I was like, we need to start getting guns in the house now. So they have definitely changed my life. I mean, a marriage changed me.
Kids will always change
Kids have definitely, it's crazy how they've changed just my perspective. And honestly, they have softened me, I would say, in a good way. So
that's cool.
But yeah, so I mean, that's a huge part of my life, obviously. I've talked about my girls a lot. Love them to pieces.
Family is important.
So-
Kids are important.
So yeah.
Drive you nuts, but they're important.
Yeah, this is true.
All right, so what you got? You got a question for me?
Mine's not half as deep.
Cool.
Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry?
Neapolitan.
And see, I intentionally just said vanilla, chocolate, strawberry because...
Just to see where I would go.
Right.
I went to ice cream because Neapolitan ice cream is delicious.
Because I didn't know if you'd be like, this is my favorite vanilla, this is, or if I didn't know what route you'd go. So I just thought I'd say this.
Well, actually, I have a newfound love for strawberry. Strawberry used to not be my jam at all. Okay. Chocolate used to be my jam back in the day. I can always get down with some vanilla, but strawberry now, I really dig strawberry ice cream.
Just ice cream, okay.
Strawberry ice cream.
Okay.
All the way, man.
All right.
So good. But my favorite ice cream is butter pecan.
Butter pecan is good.
Butter pecan is delicious, man. It's so good. You
Yeah.
can eat it with anything. All right. I'll take the next one. Well, since we're doing this show because I'm going on vacation.
Yeah, jerk.
What? Tell me how you really feel. Tell me your dream vacation destination.
Man.
You got to go. This is where you want to be. You got all the money in the world you need to get you there. Your schedule's clear. You got the time off. Everything's lined up. What is your dream vacation?
Man, that's rough, bro. Because I could go anywhere.
I got like 40 that I could listen.
Well, yeah, I know. That's what I'm like. I could say a ton. Like, I've been out of the country years ago. Most of them were mission trips, but like they were really cool experiences. So like
you've been to Jamaica.
Yeah, I've been to Jamaica.
Yep.
I got to see the non-touristy part of Jamaica.
The drug running portion of Jamaica.
Completely different place. We were working at orphanages down there, actually. So.
Marked for Death by Steven Seagal portion of.
We weren't in Kingston, although I did hear. I have heard stories about one of the guys that have been to Kingston, and yeah, it was pretty rough. He said, but yeah, I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Liberia in Western Africa. Been to Israel and Guatemala as well. So
you've been everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash over here.
A little bit. Yeah, been a little everywhere. So really, in those trips, I really enjoyed my trip to Africa, to Liberia. But if I had a destination vacation of just could go anywhere, man, I usually am a beach guy.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as vacations we've gone to, but honestly, I'm going to have to say Alaska.
Really? See, I'm not big on cold. Like, I like it to a degree, but...
Maybe not go in the super cold season, but like, I mean, for me, I think just that element of being kind of in the middle of nowhere.
I hear it's beautiful.
I mean,
there.
it just, the pictures I've seen, like, I mean, that's obviously here just in the U.S. I mean, because to me, the idea of being in a cabin, drinking coffee all day, sitting by a fire, reading books, watching movies, just, I mean, not being inside. I mean, Alaska is one of those is like, just go outside, just step outside.
You have the flexibility of being out, coming in, you know, like you said, if you're in a cabin, fire. You know,
I'm not a hunter, I'm not a fisherman or anything like that, but I just...
You just want to go out and like,
I just feel like
I can see that.
I don't know, seeing the pictures and stuff. I think that
that probably be pretty good.
Do you have one?
I do have one. I have several. I've always wanted to go to Australia.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't know. It seems like it's so far away, so you'd have the trip there. You know, that would be an adventure in itself, and then just the beautiful land, and you got the ocean, and just it's like a combination of so many different things.
Yeah.
So Australia would be one.
That would be good.
Love to go to.
Would you do a walkabout?
Damn right, I'd do a walkabout. Good enough for Paul Hogan. I'm going to do it. That's not a knife.
That's a knife. This is a knife.
I just got reminded of the night we saw Paul Hogan working the grill at Steak and Shake over here on the west side.
Before they closed down.
I'll have to tell you the story about that one. If Steve's listening, he'll laugh his ass off right now. Paul Hogan working the grill at Steak and Shake. So funny. Anyway, all right. So I asked my question. Well, you got another one for me?
Tell me the story of your first car.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, what was it? Tell me the story. Like, is it, I don't know. Just
1986 white Nissan pickup. This thing would run for maybe 5 minutes at a time. Okay. This thing was a shit bucket. It was horrible. This thing would die at every red light, every stop sign, man. That thing was a hunk of junk. Didn't help that I drove it like a freaking maniac either.
Yeah.
You know, I got some funny stories with that thing. Like, I was giving my buddy Travis a ride home from school one day, and we had this section in Owensboro. It's a Standish place. People in Owensboro listening to the show, they'll know where it's at because we called it the Bumps. And so from, what's the road? I can't remember the name of the damn road now. Anyway, from this one road, you would turn right on the Standish, you'd come to a stop sign. From that stop sign, you would go literally like 3 or 4 blocks, passing cross streets.
Okay.
And they had drainage culverts built so whenever it would rain, if the sewers backed up, they would have water flow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we called it the Bumps. The idea was try and see how fast you can go from that stop sign to the next stop sign, just gunning it, right? So I would take friends of mine and put them in the back of the truck, and we'd go over the bumps. And they loved it. They're like, "Yeah, let's go over the bumps." And I'm like, "You guys are freaking morons." In the back of a Nissan, you're gonna die. So, but we always have fun doing that. But one day I was taking Travis home from school, and we went over the bumps, you know, because where his house was, after you went over the bumps, you took a left, an immediate right, and you took the street across Frederica Street in Owensboro, and he lived 1 block off of Frederica Street. So I come to the stop sign in Frederica, I'm waiting for traffic to clear, and as soon as traffic clears, I gun it, shoot across. The one time the truck didn't die, shoot across Frederica Street, and I come up to the street, and I go, and in my head, I'm picturing I'm going to do one of those Hollywood action stunts where I crank the wheel, you know, and then like the truck just goes, wah, you know, and goes into like, you know, some Tokyo drift shit, and then go right into the turn, right? So that's what I'm picturing in my head. Well, the truck didn't do that. What it did was it completely spun out. It completely spun out, and I'm just sitting in the middle of the intersection like a jackass, facing these people's yard. Man. You know, and there's a lady at the 4-way stop looking at me. She's like, "What are you doing?" Right? And so in my head, you know, it didn't pan out what was going to happen. You know, it's like, and so I'm like, I need to get out of the intersection, right? Yeah. So instead of backing up and going onto the street like a normal person, what do? I gun it right through the damn yard. And Travis is looking at me like, what are you doing? Why? So that was that. And then the other story with the truck is so damn funny. I went driving like literally like 2 weeks after I got my license, like full on my license. I can drive without a parent in the vehicle. I, you know, do it by myself. So it was like 2 weeks after. It was October. Leaves are falling. You know, people are already raking their leaves out to the side, right? So me, my cousin Troy, and my friend Billy, we're driving around the truck acting like idiots, and we're driving through people's raked up piles of leaves. Okay, so
douche.
Big time. So we're driving, and we go on, this is actually on Steve's street that he grew up on. Okay. Level Drive in Owensboro. And there's an S-curve in the middle of this neighborhood, just, you know, like quick little S-curve, right? And so in that S-curve, there's a dude who raked up a big, huge pile of leaves, right? So we come around, and I see it. I'm like, I drive up into it and to spread the leaves. Well, as soon as I drive through, Troy's like, man, you didn't even spread those leaves. He's like, go around and do it again. I'm like, okay. So we go around the neighborhood, driving like a freaking moron, come around to the S-curve, right? Go into the S-curve, going about 10 miles an hour faster than what I did before. Get up onto the curb, punch it. Going through, spreading the leaves. As soon as I hit the pavement, the tires are spinning. Oh, no. Right? And it makes the truck complete 180. Oh, no. Spins around the bed of the truck, the little section between the tire well and then the back of the truck. Smacks a light pole on the other side of the street.
No. So please tell me you just gunned it and went through the leaves. No.
Yes. No. But so after it spun and it hit the light pole, and of course it died because it's the truck. So like immediately when it happened, the truck died, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, I just knocked this light pole down. It's going to kill somebody. But it didn't knock the light pole down. But I'm waiting in anticipation for the light pole to fall down. Yeah, I went like a big oak, you know. So
and everybody starts moving in slow motion.
Well, yeah. And so I'm sitting there, I'm waiting. I'm like, oh my God, it's going to fall. And then it didn't fall. And I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. So I started up. It actually started, thank God. And we take off. And as soon as we take off, I look in my rearview mirror, and the dome on the light fell, shattered right in the middle of the street.
No.
And so I'm like, oh my God. how in the hell am I going to explain this? And I came up with a ridiculous story and told my dad, and he totally bought it. Come to find out years later, he didn't buy it at all. He knew I did something to jack it up, but he just didn't say anything because he knew I was a stupid kid. And, he didn't want to, he knew I was terrified. I was going to get freaking murdered.
That was enough.
That was enough. Me being scared was enough. So
that's funny.
So that's the story of my first vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah. And oddly enough, the light pole that I hit, it had 2 paint stripes from my truck where it hit on that pole for like freaking decades.
Wow.
Like 15 years later, you could probably still go to that pole and those paint marks are still on it. What? Probably.
Is that why you moved to Evansville now? Because Owensboro's looking for you?
Relocated. They were looking for me for a long time.
Who did Steve say like they need to send a request for money? Is it Dave Clark? Owensboro could send a bill to David Clark.
If you have any information regarding this terrible, tragic accident, write Dave Clark at homersradio.com.
Man. Too good. Man, this was long.
Very long. I got a lot of editing to do.
Which is the whole point of us doing this is so you wouldn't have edits.
I'm going to cut everything out. We're going to have a 20-minute show.
And as our listeners now know, it was not 20 minutes long.
Definitely more than 4 hours. I mean, what? Man, what a jam-packed episode, Jim.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And to think you actually cut stuff out of this episode.
Dude, I cut so much out of this. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I cut a lot out of this. I mean, literally, I'm not sure what the total running time is going to be on this after all is said and done, but I know that the original episode, it was over 2 hours of audio, and I think I got it cut down to a little under an hour and a half on the original episode. So, I mean, if that tells you anything. I mean, it's crazy. Dude, this episode has so many firsts. Yeah. We didn't talk about it on the first tap, but we can talk about it now that you guys have actually listened to the show. This is the first ever movie talk before we ever actually had a segment called Movie Talk.
Right.
I mean, we talked about a ton of movies on here, which is very cool.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead and put it out there right now. I mean, I'm obviously going to run down our social media stuff here in a little bit, but I want to talk about it right now. Our email address, heyyouguys@dudewhatpod.com. Or all the social media stuff, just search for @DudeWhatPod or Dude What Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And the reason why I'm telling you this right now, some of these movies that we talked about on here, if you guys have seen those and you have differing opinions, write into the show. Let's talk about it, man.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that we've always invited you guys to do, to join the conversation, and especially on Movie Talk. Our first ever real movie talk, I guess you could say, on here. Another first that happened on here, the first time we used the Hey You Guys soundbite and created an actual Hey You Guys segment where we give shout outs to people. Mr. Todd Trout, thank you for being a long-time listener. We love you. Miss you so much. Hope you're doing very well out there in the West.
You need to text us next time you're in the area, please.
Absolutely, and get you in the studio. Yes. That would be great.
Even if you just sit in the corner like a creeper, like you've always said you wanted to do.
He has always said that, hasn't he?
He's like, I don't need to talk. I don't need to talk.
I just want to watch. I like to watch. I think it's the way he said it. I like to watch.
I like to watch. It's like, I just want to see how the sausage is made, right? Like kind of thing. So.
It's weird. Why did you say that? Anyway, moving on.
Why did we go there? But yeah, actually, so talking about that, the Hey You Guys clip.
Yes.
And you just mentioned our email address. This was actually inspiration for our email address.
I mean, it's so crazy how so many little things have just carried over throughout our timeline here with regard to our show. It's nuts. This is the first and only time, I believe, Jim, the first and only time that we've ranked newer movies in a movie talk segment. Now, we've talked about movies. We've talked about newer movies. We may even said, hey, I would give it this, but we've never actually ranked newer films.
Yeah, and each of them back to back like that.
Right.
Either, so, we were talking kind of behind the scenes, and this really wasn't in our notes. Go figure, right? But I was like, well, is this the first time that we had the trailers playing between the movies? I go, no, that was later on.
Way later, yes.
So, I mean, and that's where I was like, man, I can't believe it's become such a staple of what we do now. So, longtime listeners listening back are probably like, where are the trailers?
Where are the trailers for these movies? Yeah, I thought about whenever we decided to start doing these Dude What originals and kind of giving production notes and talking about stuff, I had thought about going back and adding in trailers, but I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that
because
we hadn't evolved. And I think that would take away from the luster of the kind of the adventure that the listener goes with us on our little journey of the evolution of the show. And like you mentioned, no, we didn't have trailers on this. And those trailers actually didn't start until sometime in January. I mean, this was September of 2017. We didn't start doing that until like January of 2018. So we're still a few months off from that with regard to our original run.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It is crazy. But I mean, it just goes back into the whole idea of how much we evolved the show over the years. And we're still evolving. We're still doing stuff.
Yeah, so talking about cutting something down and trimming things up a little bit, like editing-wise, the ranking for number 5.
Absolutely. Goes a little something like this.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me,
You guys have gotten used to hearing that. That's the clip that we play anytime a film that we cover on the show has a 5 ranking, the top spot on our show. And you guys are accustomed to that sound. There was a time when it was a little bit longer than that.
And by a little bit, it was a lot.
It was a lot longer.
It's like that whole scene.
And those of you guys with a really sharp ear that just finished listening to this episode, you're going to hear that there was one time in one of the films we were talking about where that whole clip played, and I couldn't edit it out. All the other ones, I trimmed it down because it's just too much. It was too long. I don't know why I had it so long back in the day. I don't know why. But listening back, I'm like, yeah, that's a bit long. So I trimmed it up as much as I could, but there's one that could not do it because you and I were talking too much over it. So any of you guys that heard that on there, you're like, why is this playing so long? That's because that was the original length.
Yeah.
And it was after this episode, I trimmed it down for good.
Yeah.
See, we're all about evolving, man.
There you go.
All about moving forward and just having a different way of looking at things and doing things, Jim.
Well, there's something, we're talking about the top 5s on social media on this episode, too.
Yes, we were.
That was a hot and heavy content piece that we were using a lot on social media. It
really was. I generated a lot of new additions to the list because of top 5s back in those days.
I may have to reintroduce the top 5s.
I think you might have to, because
actually,
that was a great little talking bit.
If any of you have ideas of movies that you would like us to maybe talk about in a top 5 situation, send them our way at heyyouguys@dudewhatpod.com.
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. It's just a way to create more movies that I've never seen. As if there weren't already enough of those.
Well, and apparently there was also a list of movies that I haven't seen.
You know what, Jim? It's true. It's so true. You guys that listened to this episode just now, you probably heard a whole litany of films and shows and whatnot that Jim hadn't seen at that time. I took it upon myself to make a short little list, just a little sampling here, just a little sampling. I mean,
oh boy.
And I got to looking at it and I'm like, man, this is mainly Marvel. The Marvel talk continues. My gosh. So these are ones I just jotted down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them out here to Jim real quick. And he's going to let me know if he's actually watched them in the time that has passed since 2017.
Oh, boy.
All right. Jim, Band of Brothers.
Yes.
Okay. Which I just recently watched that myself. I was ill and I missed work for a day and I stayed home. I was like, I'm watching Band of Brothers.
Great series.
Absolutely.
Great series.
Love it. Fantastic. Daredevil season 1 and season 2.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Okay.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Cool deal.
That's what actually opened the door for The Punisher for me and my love for The Punisher. Which I think we're eventually going to talk about in one of these other Dude What originals, I believe. So
I believe so. So you watched The Punisher? That was on my list as well here?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Luke Cage?
No.
Jessica Jones?
Part of the first episode, and my wife walked in and was like, what are you watching? I was like, nothing. So.
Iron Fist?
No.
And how about this one? You guys may have heard this one. I don't know. Some of you may not have heard of this one. All right. I think it did okay. I'm not sure. It maybe won an award or maybe 20. Breaking Bad.
Absolutely. We did rectify that one.
You're goddamn right.
Dude, there were some big ones on that list there, man.
I forgot that those were all on there. Yeah.
Look, here's the thing. Band of Brothers, Daredevil, and Breaking Bad, and Punisher, really. I'm okay that you watched those. The other ones, I'm okay that you didn't watch those. I mean, I like them personally for myself, but you missed those. I'm okay with that. The other ones, though, shame on you for not seeing them until 2017. Or maybe it was 2018. I don't know.
I feel like it was, 2018, 2019. It took a little while for me to
It did take you a while. Man, what was your problem? All right. Well, he got that all taken care of. It's all good. You guys may have heard on this episode, we also teased an idea that has become a staple on our show. We didn't actually have a name for it on this episode, but we kind of talked about it, the idea of having outtakes, playing some outtakes for you guys. And you guys that are long-time listeners, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about table scraps.
That's right.
It is our wacky outtakes blooper behind the scenes show. We play crazy reels of audio that has never been heard by anyone, really, except for me.
Yeah.
Jim hasn't heard this stuff, and if he has heard it, he's forgotten about it.
Usually, yes.
Yes.
There have been many surprises. I'm like, wait, did I really say that once upon a time? I didn't say it in that context. Or maybe I did. I don't know. But.
The funny thing about it is, on this episode here, the DudeTable discussion, one of the films that Jim was talking about that he had watched or that he was wanting to see was a movie called Mother, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
It was directed by a director. What's his name, Jim?
I don't remember.
I think you do.
Afronaski?
I don't know what that was.
Darren Afro something other.
Darren Aronofsky. Easy for us to say here. And the reason why I bring this up in conjunction with table scraps because
to shame me that I've never seen Mother.
No, just to shame you in the fact that you developed the nickname Jim the Butcher.
Yeah.
And because there is a reel on Table Scraps, our very first episode of Table Scraps, our very first release of the Table Scraps concept, there was a reel on there called Jim the Butcher, and it's just a collection of clips of Jim just messing so much stuff up. Like you just heard on this episode.
Yeah.
Him not able to say Darren Aronofsky. It's real easy. Just say it, Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky.
There you go.
Thank you.
It's relatively close. I give you about
I think
90...
it's the Darren and the Aaron all together. The Darren Aaron is what kind of throwing me off a little bit.
I don't know what your problem is. You just can't talk.
I can't. Yeah. Jim the Butcher, IMDb. That's
Hey, there you go, buddy. There you go.
12 years later. Yeah.
12 years. What was cut off on this episode, Jim? We're nearing the end here, but there was some things that we cut out here. Obviously, we're doing these Dude What originals from our archive, and we have a lot of mentions of our old email addresses, the times that we were actually on the Homer's Radio Network. There was so much info that we would put out there that was attached to old stuff that we're not associated with that stuff anymore. So we have to kind of cut that stuff out. And along the way with cutting that stuff out, we also cut content out from these old episodes as well. One thing that got cut out, it makes me laugh just say it out loud. It's so stupid. And every time I bring it up, Jim just looks at me like, what the hell are you talking about? But Stephen A. Turner will absolutely love this reference. Paul Hogan working the grill at Steak and Shake restaurant. Paul Hogan, obviously, Crocodile Dundee. There's a funny story about that I think I'm going to tell, and I'm hoping I get Stephen A. on camera with me so we can sit down and talk about the night that we just happened to notice that Paul Hogan, yes, Crocodile Dundee himself, was working the grill at Steak and Shake on the east side of Evansville.
Nice.
It was so funny and so stupid, and we laughed for hours. But I think I'm going to tell that maybe in All Access, I think.
Okay.
I think might put that on All Access, get Stephen A. Maybe introduce Stephen A. to the All Access crew. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. But that got cut out of this episode, along with the fact that back in the day, our heartbeat of the show for so long was the Daddies, Jim.
It was.
Dr. Bones by the Daddies. And we don't use that anymore because of licensing agreements and stuff like that. And plus, we're doing these Do What originals, and there's really no need to use it. But I was using a lot of ska and swing music back in the day, Jim.
Yeah.
To close out shows for tie-ins between segments, layered under different segments or whatever. I was using quite a bit of it back then because I liked it, and it was illegal. But you guys might hear some of that along the way, but I don't know.
Slightly, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
But that got cut out. Like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, man. Yeah. Freaking love Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. Real Big Fish, that's another good one.
Well, it's funny because we were talking about how ska, like kind of inadvertently became our music for the show.
Yes,
right?
it
Like
did.
just because of Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Right.
And you and I had two very different lives with ska music. But I love ska as well.
I love ska.
I was a huge ska fan in high school, but the ska bands that I listened to were called like the OC Supertones,
Oh.
Five Iron Frenzy, the Insiders,
It's
Bunch of Believers.
Oh. Would these be religious themed ska bands?
Yes, they were all Christian ska bands. I will tell you, though, the OC Supertones, man, I used to drive a Volkswagen Beetle, and I'd listen to them all the freaking time. They really do have a lot of great songs, a lot of great music.
It's funny that you mentioned this because I just got hit with a bolt of lightning in my head, Jim. You mentioned Bunch of Believers.
I was wondering if you were going to catch that.
For those of you guys that love our Christmas specials, when we re-release all of our Christmas specials coming up in December, you guys are going to get to hear a little sample of Bunch of Believers. It actually becomes a very important, integral part of a couple of segments on our show at Christmas time. So that's funny. That's funny that we're mentioning it. I had totally forgotten about that altogether, but that's great.
Which, I'm glad you brought that up because now I'm kind of cooling off a little bit thinking about that.
It's getting really hot in here. The AC's been off for far too long. All right, we need to wrap this up. All right, Jim. The next episode from the archive, another Dude What original, episode 11. It was cut off on this episode right here, hearing the movie selections. But episode 11, it is titled Heavy. And we're not talking about weight. There's nothing wrong with Earth's gravitational pull, like Doc Brown would say. Heavy in the regard of emotionally heavy.
Yeah, so a lot of weight.
A lot of emotional weight. And the reason why it's titled Heavy is because the category selections that you had to choose from on this episode, which took you forever to narrow down for good reason.
When people hear what the categories are.
You had Kevin Costner, John Candy, and dramatic films that deal with racial tensions. Now, Jim, you took a long time, like over 2 minutes, all right, to narrow it down because you were really concerned about what would be a good episode to do, first and foremost, and then what you thought maybe the audience actually wanted to hear.
Well, and now we'll probably talk about this on the next episode too, but just in case you all were curious, Brian and I are very much white.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Yes, we are, Jim. We are.
So now you may understand a little bit of my trepidation.
Well, the reason why there was trepidation is because the movie selections were A Time to Kill, Mississippi Burning, and American History X. So, episode 11, Heavy. We cover a heavy film. We cover a heavy topic. Heavy discussions. This was a very pivotal, important episode in our history.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk so much about it on that next episode on the feed. I'm looking forward to talking about that. Kind of.
The next episode, I think, is where a shift happened in our show.
I agree.
Was a good shift.
I agree. I agree very much. Very much so. All right. So we got that taken care of. You got that to look forward to on the next episode, episode 11, heavy, dramatic films with racial tensions. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this Dude What original, the first ever DudeTable discussion from our archive. It was a lot of fun going back down memory lane on this. As always, you can check out everything that is Dude What related at dudewhatpod.com. We are on all the social media networks there, Jim. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are on Spotify. We are on Pandora. We're on Alexa. We're in Uganda. We are in the Caribbean. Are we in the Caribbean?
Maybe.
I think we need to put a satellite station down in the Caribbean and and do the podcast from there.
I may or may not know somebody that has connections to Jamaica.
Ooh, Jamaica, man. Yeah. Yes, man. Yeah. I love it. I'm down. I'm down.
Always talking to one of my clients about traveling with them down there.
Hold on. One of your clients in Jamaica. Yeah. Are you a drug dealer, Jim?
No, not that kind of client.
Okay. He's winking at me. Yeah, that means he is a drug dealer.
I mean, Do you think I dress like this if I was a drug dealer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
That's fair. That's fair. Again, I'm very white. So.
Wow.
Not very white, but very white.
Oh, baby. Listen, look, Jim, if everyone wants to get a hold of us, it's really easy. Hey, you guys at DudeWhatPod.com, and you can find a link to that in the show notes for this episode right there at the bottom. You can also find links that will take you to Amazon. And when you get to Amazon through that link, you can do a little shopping over there. Yeah. And when you do a little shopping, maybe some of that kickback money will come back our ways. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. I'd probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. It's qualified purchases possibly could help us, but
it could possibly. I mean,
maybe it doesn't. It basically what it does, it tells Amazon that you got to them from us.
Right.
That's all it does.
Which helps us.
And
it does help us. It does help us.
It does.
One way you can also help us is to go and hit that support button on our website.
Absolutely.
And there are 5, 6, 20 different ways you can support us now. There's like 5 different ways on there. And it's really easy. You go in there, and I think one of the more fun ways that you can support us, buy some of our swag, man. Go in our merch store, get you a beanie, get you a shirt, get you a mug, get you a hoodie. I mean, before you know it, Jim, there's going to be that cold, crisp air coming in. Not right now. It's too damn hot right now. It's hot. Damn hot.
It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot.
Just like Rob Williams said in Good Morning Vietnam. But that air is going to turn crisp before you know it, Jim. And you're going to have your Ugg boots on. You're going to be drinking pumpkin spice lattes. You're going to be sitting next to a bonfire. And you're going to be saying, hey, when is Dude What going to start releasing their holiday specials? You know what, Jim? Beginning of October is when it's going to start happening, man.
That's right.
You guys have that to look forward to on the horizon on our feed because we are re-releasing all of our holiday specials. And I'm freaking excited for it. I actually just re-listened to our Halloween special from last year. Oh my God, I have never laughed so hard. So freaking funny. The whole entire running gag during the Horror Icon Tournament of Death with Michael Myers and Carrie. Holy shit, that is hilarious. I love it. I freaking love it. But you guys have that to look forward to. Starting in October, all of our Halloween stuff. And then in November, all of our table scrap stuff. And then in December, all of our Christmas stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. The holidays are going to be a blast at Dude What. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
I am as well. I would say yes. You're going to be seeing a lot of that in October, a lot of stuff hitting our feed.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for it.
Get ready. Lock yourselves in your house, turn on your earbuds, and put them right there in your ear and listen to sweet, sweet sounds of Dude What. I don't know what I was just doing there. I was feeling it. I'm delirious from the heat. Jim, there's one thing that I would really like for everyone to do, and I would like for them to go to Facebook. And the reason why I want them to go to Facebook is so they can get into a little thing called All Access.
All Access.
It's really fun, behind-the-scenes, super secret ninja group. We do fun stuff behind the scenes. We post pictures. We talk about things. We shape the show. You guys can shape the show on there, and we interact with an elite group of people on there. And it's really easy to get in there. You just email us, hey, you guys at DudeWhatPod.com, and say, hey, man, I would love to get into All Access. And Jim will let you in. It's really simple.
As long as Alex, our bouncer, lets you in.
As long as Alex will let you in with his deliciously thick arms.
Oh, my.
I don't know why I described it that way.
I don't know either. I think it'd be cool to have him and Shaw both here.
If we had both of them in here, we would have to...
I don't think you and I would be able to be in here.
No, we'd have to expand the studio. That wall would have to go.
Alex, he'd have to stand outside the window.
He could stand over my shoulder, but then he would be looming.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want him looming over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
I don't know. They're like the muscle guys and we're the fat guys.
All right. Well, let's stop with pity party time. Okay. All right. Can we just end the show now?
Yeah. We should end on a happy note.
All right. How? You and your smooth segues, Jim. All right, look, Jim, we are done here. We want to thank you guys.
Teach how to make a s'more.
Jim, shut up. Look, we want to thank you guys one last time for tuning in to the show. We will see you guys on the next episode 11 from the archive, another Dude What original titled Heavy. Oh my God, not looking forward to it, but kind of looking forward to it. We will see you guys down the road.
Bye, guys.